Do you love traveling through time and space? Then listen to Gallif Radio, a Whovian podcast, every other Friday, right here on the Journey into Comics Network, journeyintocomics.com.
The following
Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics.
It's a Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics
Network.
Production.
Fuck you, Iraq.
That is so fucking awesome!
Podcastrophe imminent. This is Podcastrophe with Dick and Tyler, and we're coming at you with a fistful of heritage on a podcast where anything goes and there are no safe spaces. This is Podcastrophe.
Yay.
It's episode 50 of Podcastrophe.
Congratulations, fellas.
Why, thank you. Very first guest we ever had, Branden Stone.
Glad to be here, fellas. I'm really proud of you guys, and happy to be here again on another landmark episode of Podcastrophe.
I want to say I'm proud of somebody, too. I'm proud of you, Quail Dog.
I'm so glad we're here.
Normally, I'm, like, here lately especially, like, Tuesdays have just been bad days for me.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm even sick right now, and I had a really good day at work, and, like, just, I'm having a really good time.
That's good.
So,
That's
like, I'm not in a
good.
bad mood today, which is not, it's just not normal.
Me either. I'm in a fantastic mood. It was a nice, quiet, peaceful day.
Oh, yeah. And we'll get into that.
Did nobody buy a penis?
Not yet.
Oh.
That tear's still...
Did nobody's
that's
husband die in a lawnmower accident?
Nope. But we found out he's getting another piercing.
He's getting another penis?
Piercing.
Penis.
Piercing.
Penis.
That tier is still vacant on the JIC Patreon. Nobody wants it.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
That's been my life.
I don't get it at all.
Nobody wants my penis.
But here we are. We're at episode 50. Man, oh man, how did we ever get here?
Well, I made fun of you a lot.
Yeah, there's at least 30 episodes of that.
I yelled at things.
Maybe 40. I think your first episode was what, 12?
I think 12.
So yeah, 38 episodes of just making fun of me.
I fought a chair for like 12 episodes.
Yes, he did that too.
I made fun of Cameron a lot.
That's easy to do, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether he was here or not. Yeah.
Well, and, you know, I was having this conversation with a good friend of mine about Cameron the other day. And he's like, well, because we were hanging out, and he's like, well, what's wrong with you? And I was like, well, I just fucking ripped Cameron's ass. And he's like, why did you just rip Cameron's ass? And I was like, well, you know, like if you find an animal like abandoned on the side of the road, like it's just our instinct, like we feel compelled to take care of it. Like even if you don't like animals, for a split second you're like, man, I fucking feel bad for that animal. I want to take care of it. I might not want to keep it, but I at least want to, like,
yeah.
You know, get it healthy.
Is that Cameron for you?
And get it on track, and, you know, find it a good home and everything. But it, like along the same lines, you know, like as you go through life, there's those people that fill like a dad role for you. Like everybody has their dad, whether it's a long period of time or a short period of time, it doesn't really matter. Everybody knows who their dad is. But then, like, there's always those people that fill, like, a dad role when your dad's not around. And I'm kind of like that for Cameron. That's how I've asserted myself.
Yeah.
Because he's 20 years old, and he fucking doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground.
To be fair, he didn't have parents to really show him.
But I mean, I didn't really have parents to show me either, and I figured all this shit out on my own through wherewithal and determination.
I was about to say sheer will.
Sheer will is definitely a part of it. So, like, especially the last, 6 months since I've left Subaru, I've tried to help Cameron as much as I can. because now he doesn't have me yelling at him every day to try and keep his life on track. And I'm not saying by any means that Cameron's a bad kid, but there's a lot of shit that he just doesn't know.
Yeah.
That he should know at 20 years old.
Jennifer said, I feel so bad for him because, like, this couldn't have happened to the worst. Like, because the other day he was sent to the emergency room, had his appendix rupture.
He had an appendectomy.
Yes.
It didn't rupture, it just started to leak.
Which, ironically, we could have helped had we have known what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the one thing I want to say with this is that I saw your two's interaction and read it in exactly the voice,
Yeah,
like
the dad voice.
yeah.
Oh man, especially when you did all caps, I could just hear you shouting at him.
Yeah. But you know, I consider Cameron, you know, like pseudo child / little brother, you know, / very good friend, because Cameron and I get along very well. You know, you have filled some of that dad role towards Cameron too, especially when you and Cameron and I were having a conversation. You know, normally I was yelling at him, and then you would come at the end, like, and just fucking slit his throat, like, okay, the conversation's done now, go away.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Yes, I mean, that's a perfect way to put it. But Cameron wants to get his shit together, but he's so inept 90% of the time, and I get so frustrated because, you know, that whole fucking comment stream, I have been telling him everything that I said to him in that message stream for fucking since Friday, and you know, regardless of whether or not he could actually obtain what we were talking about, I was telling him to get on that the fucking day that he had his surgery. You know, you have a cell phone, use it. You can fucking call people, and then if people don't answer you, get in your fucking car and go track those people down. You know, fucking do your due diligence and handle your shit. So, but we got it all under control now, and for the remainder of him and I's friendship, however long or short that may be, I will continue to force myself into the dad role and fucking yell at him all the time, as much as I possibly can.
Since you have exited Subaru but you're still fulfilling that dad role, I have taken upon myself to be the big brother role for him.
Good, because I also have to fill a dad role for you a lot of the times.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
God, you've got fat Mark McGuire as a dad. You don't reach out to him. I shouldn't have to yell at you.
I like to try to do things on my own, and then I fail.
And you fail pretty much every time.
Please tell me your dad called you slugger.
No.
Oh,
No, he
damn
never
it.
called me slugger. Nick says, nice shirt, Tyler.
Thanks, man. I want to come get some more of them here soon. So,
Oh, Jennifer, she did a thing. What did you do, Jennifer? Did you buy a Rolo the Destroyer T-shirt from Teespring?
there's nobody that I would rather see in a Rolo the Destroyer shirt than fucking Jennifer.
Right. I ordered one of those. I ordered a Heritage shirt and a JIC tank top.
If I could get the Heritage shirt in yellow with red letters, I would have one right now. I would be wearing it.
That's honestly what I would prefer as well, but I guess the Podfathers.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, we can do it.
All we need to do
We
is
can make our own store.
all we need to do literally is send him a message to say, "Hey, add an alternate to the Heritage shirt."
Yeah. Definitely.
God damn it, Blaine.
Oh, sorry, Nate. We didn't introduce our guest, Mr. Branden. Yeah, we introduced you.
Yeah, wait.
We
yeah,
introduced-
first ever guest.
First
Yeah.
ever guest, Branden Stone.
Did you say my name though?
I did.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
I had to do some
Come on,
exposition
Nate.
because I had it bottled inside since like Saturday.
Dude,
I get
I
you.
kind of feel you. I mean, I felt really bad for the kid. I mean,
Oh,
really.
yeah, for sure.
And you know, because when something like that happens, I mean, it can catch anybody off guard.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he's so worried.
Nate's
he's,
on it.
He's about to have surgery in like an hour, and he's freaking out about how much it's going to cost.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, stop. Right
can-
now,
you can make
have
payments.
You have no control over this.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you need to relax and try and calm down.
Yeah.
That way you can go and get your shit taken care of. Worry about that stuff after, because this isn't. I mean, thankfully, it didn't rupture.
Right.
And completely. What?
Oh, he says, oh, yeah. Introducing you.
But yeah, I mean,
Classic Nate.
I went and saw him on Saturday to kind of just make sure he was still
Yeah.
alive. and he's doing good. You know, he's healing well.
Yeah, he came in Monday just normal as ever.
He still smells like a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
like I said, normal as ever.
Right. So he came in Monday and they sent him home. Is that how they did it?
Basically, kind of, without going into too much detail here, he's got to get more official, like, I guess, shit taken care of as far as, like, the whole medical issue at work. So, I mean, it very much sucks for him because obviously, I mean, much to my surprise, he was pretty much acting every bit of normal, moving normal. He probably would be sore as shit, but like,
He showed me his wounds.
yeah, how
He's
bad
got
was
3 of them.
Yeah.
He almost showed me his ding dong when he
Yeah,
showed it to
I
me
know.
on
He
Saturday.
went. He just kept going, and I'm like, ah.
Did they
Like,
give him a bikini line cut?
No.
It was like right here.
It was like right in the spot where like your pubic hair doesn't grow at all.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like right below your gut.
Yeah.
That's where they went.
Yeah, he
For the-
showed
for
me
the
all of
lowest,
this.
most-
All of this right in front of the group leader desk in the
Yeah.
morning meeting. He's like, "Yeah, check it out."
He doesn't surprise me anymore, really.
I know.
I
It's-
don't know that he can at this point. Because you know, it's more dad mode on my part, but like I just not that my expectations are low of him because for as dumb as Cameron can be and as you know impulsive and as many bad decisions as he can make, he's a pretty responsible kid
Yeah.
when he wants to be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he is
He's
all
a
the
very
time by any
capable
means.
kid as well.
He's also very intelligent and very capable. He just has to have the right kick in the ass every now and then to put him back on track. So
He's got a lot of fuckhead in him.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That can also be a response to environment, too. you know.
absolutely.
PSA: we are not allowed to say Eric Brooks's name on this show anymore.
Why is that?
Because there are people around town that he doesn't want his name heard on this show, and he does not want to be associated with this show.
Okay, well,
So from henceforth, when we're speaking of him, we will refer to him as Erica Brookstone.
thankfully, I think Eric Brooks is a fucking douchebag. So I'll
Yeah.
say it as much as I want to
I
say
know.
it.
He asked me, he's like, "Can you not say my name on the show anymore?" I'm like, "Why?" And I can't make any promises. He's like, and he went on to explain it to me, and I was like, "Well, I can't make any promises, and I definitely can't speak for Tyler." He was like, "He can say whatever the fuck he wants about me, fucking douchebag." Blah, 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 fucking going on. Yeah, you were there. I think you were there.
I heard about it.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy 7 Subaru Ascents tomorrow, and then I'm gonna tell you all about it for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's
Jer-
because I'm a douchebag.
Jeremiah got him pretty flustered because you heard
he
the
made
truck
fun
nut
of his
story?
man bun that he had 6 months ago.
No, so I don't know the exact story, but basically he was talking to someone, I think either Joe or Jennifer, about truck nuts.
Oh, okay.
And
All right. I
he's like,
recall this.
he's like, "Eric, you look like a guy that would have that on his truck." And Eric was like, so just,
He actually has them on his truck and his Subaru Ascent.
He put a hitch on the Ascent.
Yes.
he was so just uncomfortable with this comment that he started going around asking people, "Do I look like a guy that have?"
Yes.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
that is hilarious because way earlier back in my career, and when I worked with Jay when he was just a regular online associate, I convinced him one day he was depressed.
Okay.
I was completely bored out of my mind, and I was working with him like I think 3 times that day. And I like Jay. I could talk to Jay. He's a really good guy. The issue is he would get bored and just want to argue. And his go-to arguments were Xbox is better than PlayStation.
Okay.
I debunked that years ago.
Right.
And then Iron Man could beat up Batman.
Okay.
And we would just go back and forth with that. And eventually I got tired of that crap. But
Hey, Brandon, did you know that Iron Man could beat up Batman?
That's exactly how
Is that how it started?
Yeah, pretty much. Just when he was bored, and after about like the 3rd time I looked at him, I'm like, no, I'm not taking the bait. But anyway, I just one day after about an hour, I'm like, Jay, are you okay? Yeah, why? Oh man, you just seem a little down. No. All right, man. Well, I mean, if you want to talk, I'm here, man. You know, no, dude, I'm fine. A little while later goes by. Are you sure, man? Are you you're like, what? I'm
You
like,
just planted the seeds.
dude, yes. And I spent, see, that was probably around 5 o'clock on a second shift was 4:30 start. 5 o'clock that day.
So it was early.
5 p.m. And we went all the way till 3 o'clock at night. And literally, like, I was like, I don't know, man. You just seem like, seem like you're slouching more. You seems like you got a lot of weight on your shoulders. No, dude, I'm fine.
No pep in your step, man.
Like, no, I'm fine. And then finally, he asked his wife at break, have I seemed depressed to you? And she said yes.
Oh, fuck.
And then he kept asking people to work, and they kept saying yes.
That's my shit right there.
Hell yeah. So he got so mad. He's like, I don't even know when I got depressed. I'm like, well, you know, sometimes we get into a funk in our lives. Sometimes it just kind of creeps up on you like that. Mm-hmm. And then he kept trying to argue and say he wasn't depressed, and I kept turning his words around on him. And finally, he's like, man, you just keep turning my words around on me. I'm like, how do I keep doing that? He goes, because you're smarter than me.
Oh, shit. But, I mean, as funny as that is, there is a lot of truth to that. You know, you might have a bad night's rest. Mm-hmm. You might actually get a little bit more sleep than you normally do, and it throws your fucking hormones and everything else that's going on in your body just a little bit out of whack, and then it just slowly, you get more and more comfortable with feeling that way, and then that leads to depression, and you don't even know it.
Exactly.
So there is a lot of, I mean, even though it was a joke, there's a lot of truth to that, and unless you have somebody else, or unless you're extremely cognitive of your own, I mean, if you can just do like your own out-of-body experience and say, man, I've been fucking off lately.
It's very difficult to do that because a lot of times we are just so trapped into what we are doing. Trapped in our current situation. We are focused forward. We are looking at this. We got this coming up. I got this coming up. I got to do this. I got to mow the yard when I get home. I got to take my kid here. I got to do this and do that. That we still don't have time for self-reflection. So then that kind of stuff does kind of creep up on you. And then you don't even know why, or you don't even understand it. And it's not even until you start looking back at your current situation or your current workload or whatever it is that is kind of like, you know, placing you in this sort of state of emotion.
Right.
It's not until you do that you can try to make changes to that. Because sometimes, like, other people will definitely notice before you do in that kind of situation.
Well, and it's always tough for those other people, too. Like if you were having a bad day, right out of the gate, I wouldn't call you out on it. But if for like 6 months, or, you know, not even that long, but like 6 weeks,
right?
You know, if you and I work together every day and you're having the same kind of day every day, I would probably reach out and say, hey man, what's going on?
Right.
But we as people are so prideful, number one, but number two, and I know you feel the same way as I do, and I know you do too, we don't like to get involved in other people's business.
Yes.
So whatever. And, you know, I said it a lot while I was at Subaru, and I've said it a lot on this show. As long as your personal life isn't affecting my personal life, that's none of my business. The moment it affects my personal life or my work life, then it becomes my business. But, you know, I'm not one to meddle in somebody else's affairs unless, you know, they're going down the wrong path or, you know, they basically open the door for me. So that's another little PSA. For people, if you're going through some shit, reach out because people.
Always reach out. There will always be someone there, whether the first or second person reacts the way you want. There's always someone out there, regardless.
Absolutely.
That's so funny that we talk about that. And on the very first episode of Podcastrophe, we talked about, because it was right around the time Chester and
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell. Yeah, because we were still kind of reflecting on that.
Yeah, we got real deep into like our depression and shit.
Well, that was a really tough time for me too. I mean, obviously I was a big fan of Chester's, but Chris Cornell was up on a pedestal for me. So when he went, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because that guy had everything in life. You know, a beautiful family, a fucking fantastic career. the guy was in his fucking 40s and looked great, or 50s.
You could even say that maybe his full greatness had not even yet been achieved.
Right.
Like my favorite stuff from him is always just him with an acoustic guitar with very few
definitely.
people.
His
I
solo
like-
stuff is fucking
Yes.
fantastic.
As much as I like Soundgarden and the stuff he did with Audioslave, that stuff's great. But just him with the guitar, whether it's his song or somebody else's, how much he can pour his soul into that.
Chris Cornell was a one-of-a-kind vocalist.
Amen
in my
to that.
opinion.
Amen to that.
And
No one else sounds like him.
nobody sounds like
Nobody
him.
sounds like
Very few people have that vocal range that he had. And, I also love the acoustic stuff that he did, and his solo stuff was fantastic. My favorite Chris Cornell stuff was the Temple of the Dog stuff.
Yeah.
The combination of Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell together, two of the most iconic vocalists of all time, that fucking did it for me. And shortly before he passed away, Temple of the Dog announced a fucking tour that they were doing in California. It was a 4-show tour. Mm-hmm. And I got really fucking bummed because I couldn't, at that point in my life, I couldn't feasibly fly to California for a fucking concert, even though I have family and I would have been able to have, free room and board, what have you. I couldn't justify spending basically $1,000 mini vacation, because the tickets were fucking outrageous.
Sure.
And then, with a rental car and the actual, everything together, that was going to be a pretty expensive little trip.
Yeah.
And then right around the time that I started to really fucking crunch numbers, I was going to go. I was going to buy tickets. And then he fucking offed himself. So, I got really bummed.
Yeah, I was about to say, such a bummer.
And
Such a bummer.
You look through the industry, artists always get really upset when another artist, they lose another artist, or, they take their own life or whatever, But you look at some of the shit that Eddie Vedder did after Chris passed, it fucking hit a lot of people really hard. And then, Chester's the same way.
Yeah.
So.
It's from the Linkin Park's Chester Memorial Concert when they played Numb, and they just had a spotlight on the microphone stand, and the entire crowd sang it.
Yeah, that was really powerful stuff.
That was so powerful. That was that was so perfect. And I never would have thought something like that could just trigger so many different emotions. Mm-hmm. Especially when you have that many people who are there. I mean, they're there just because they love Chester.
Yeah.
And they're all sharing in that moment together.
Yep. And it's not just the people that were in that crowd. It's all the people that still watch that video today. If you pull that video up on YouTube, and you don't have to, but that video has fucking over 1 million views.
Sure, yes.
And it reached that number very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. So the amount of people that we take for granted, and we've talked about it a lot on the show, and, you and I have talked about it a lot personally. We take for granted, it's a podcast, so obviously I can't talk. We take for granted what artists do for us, mentally, psychologically, however, spiritually, however you want to label it. It doesn't really matter. We as people take that for granted a lot of times, and it's sad.
It really means a lot when you get a chance to meet those people.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say that. Exactly.
I met these guys, Iced Earth, so many times now. It's almost just like a, hey, how you doing thing. The first time I ever got to meet John, I had tears in my eyes. I shook his hand, and I said, thank you so much for doing what you do. Mm-hmm. There was a time in my life where nothing else spoke to me but for a few songs that you wrote 20 years ago. Whatever it was, whatever you felt or wrote then has affected me at the right time. He goes, so for thank you. I'll be a fan for life because you changed my life in that moment. When no one else, when I felt like I couldn't, trust anybody else, like we said, or anything like that, that spoke to me and made me reflect in on myself and made me make changes to myself or whatever I needed to do. And he beamed up at me and said, that's why I do what I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And, he, the look on his face was
genuine.
Yes. And that was awesome. Number one, I'm pretty sure the jack was already flowing, so he was relaxed. Sometimes when you meet him, he can be a little intimidating just because he knows who he is. He knows who you are.
Right.
Hey, how you doing? But when I walked up and said that to him, probably stuttering my ass off, but that was an awesome, like, just little interaction, you know. And then, of course, right after that, when we circle back around for the picture, me and my wife kind of stood there, not really knowing where to stand. I mean, it's like, hey, I'm gonna take a picture with the band, right? And then he grabbed my wife, and he grabbed me and pulled me in for a hug. And the person who snapped the picture is him doing this, looking at me, smiling, going to grab me. And that's when the picture got taken. And I'm sitting there like, you see me, I'm like, so like, I don't know, am I posing now? What's funny, because then the next time I met them, that they must have the same picture taker. They just so like inopportune, because then we stood there and waited.
I'm almost ready.
And then I sort of do this, and that's when they take the picture. So the picture is me going,
What?
No, that's really cool. I mean, we don't always have the opportunity to tell the people that really have affected us. That you know, we go through these periods of emotion, and we tend to listen to the music that draws that emotion out more.
yes,
And so you connect with that music, and sometimes that music, in fact, saves you. Sometimes that music
Absolutely.
makes you feel. It brings you solace. It brings you peace. And we don't always get to meet the people who create that feeling for you.
exactly.
Yeah, Chris Cornell was that guy for me, you know.
And I sincerely wish you could have met.
Yeah, and I do too. But I've told this story a couple times on the show. But the time that I met Jared Leto in 30 Seconds to Mars, how genuine and down to earth they were, and how unfamiliar I was with their music. At that time, I had just discovered them when I met them, and they still accepted me with open arms, you know, as their number one fan, even though I was just some guy off the street. That going into that concert, my opinion was, it's just another spoiled actor trying to make more money. That was my opinion of Jared Leto in 30 Seconds to Mars. So when I left that concert all those years ago, my experience of watching their show that they put on and meeting all of them, and it wasn't just a, hi, how you doing? I'm going to sign this and move you on. It was a solid 5 to 10 minute long conversation with every member of the band.
See, and that's what I love about that kind of stuff, and that's what these guys did. Even the last time we got to spend 20 minutes with these guys, asking any questions we wanted, and then I hear a band like Slayer, you spend $1,500 to go meet Slayer, and they bring you in, they sign whatever, take your picture, and you're ushered out. Right. There is no one-on-one time, and Metallica is they're so different. You don't wait in a line to meet them. They move their way down the line one by one. You don't meet the whole band all at once. You meet one member at a time. Yeah. And they individually come up to you and talk to you, and they'll sign whatever you have to sign, and then they will talk whatever you want to talk about. And then, of course, they got to make time for everybody, so you can't take up all their time. Yeah. But they're so personable like that. Right. And I love that, because then I've heard there was a guy that we used to work with, a huge Kiss fan. He said he would never pay to meet Kiss, because it's going to be $16,000. Right. And then you're not even going to really meet Kiss. You're going to go in there, get a picture, and leave. I remember seeing this video where this guy, he was either going to do a quick interview with Kiss, or get a picture with him or whatever, but he was like, he was wearing an Iron Maiden T-shirt, and I guess they were also playing at the same kind of festival. And Paul Stanley's like, "What shirt are you wearing?" He's like, "Oh, it's Iron Maiden." No, take that shirt off. You're not going to interview me wearing that shirt. He's like, "What?" He goes, he thought he was joking. He goes, "No, serious, take that shirt off." They made him take that shirt off and turn it inside out.
See, I've read and heard a lot of stories about Kiss that are almost identical to that, and that's part of the reason that I have never really gotten into Kiss. Because if you are that full of yourself and you put yourself on that high of a pedestal, you don't need us fans.
No.
Yeah. You know, regardless of the fact that I don't care for your music, if you are going to conduct yourself that way, I don't need to put forth my time and effort to support you, because you're obviously supporting yourself.
Yeah, clearly.
You know, but that, and going along with what you said, I was one of the first people in line for kind of that meet and greet with 30 Seconds to Mars, and it wasn't a VIP thing. Mm-hmm. It was Jared and the rest of the band played their show, and when they got done, he said, "We're going to get a drink of water, and we're going to dry off," because they put on a hell of a show. He said, "We're going to get a drink of water, we're going to dry off, and then we will be out in the hallway at a table. As many of you, all of you, come and meet us. We will all meet. Every one of us will meet with every one of you." And I was one of the first people in line because, I just happened to have to go to the bathroom at that time. So I fucking sprint out, go to the bathroom, and I get right in line. And as I left that line, Jared was the last one that you got to meet with. As I walked away from him, I turned around and looked. And, it was at Conseco Fieldhouse before they remodeled it into Baker's Life.
Yeah.
So, it's got those long sweeping hallways around the first floor. Mm-hmm. That fucking first floor, the hallway, was wrapped all the way around.
Shit.
There were so many people, I couldn't see where the line ended. And I stood there for probably 5 minutes, and they spent the same amount of time with every single person that was after me. They actually stayed there all the way until almost the end of Seether's set. And there was like a 25-minute interlude, and then Seether took the stage after them. Seether was almost done playing before they had finished with all the people that went.
Damn.
So they spent a long time, or a good amount of time, with every single fan that came up to them. And more artists need to do stuff like that.
That's impressive.
I mean, I understand they all have lives. And,
Yeah.
time is money, and they're tired. The road life is obviously not kind to anyone.
No, but that to me,
It means so much.
yes, it does, because then you're forging a relationship with your listener, with your audience, with your individual, and that means so much, because then that person you're gonna feel special to them.
Yep.
And then now they mean even more to you, because those are cool guys. Those are cool guys who aren't gonna be facetious about a shirt or
Right.
This or
Hey,
that.
you can stand in this line if you buy this $75 T-shirt.
Speaking of that, yeah, that's about how much it cost me to meet Trivium, which they all individually took the time to talk to all of us as well. That was really cool. All the Remains was a lot cheaper. I had to buy a $20 T-shirt and pay $20. I think $20 more, so it was $40.
But it's not $1,500.
Yeah,
No.
and we got to sit and talk to all of them as well. With All the Remains, it was so I went there. Mike and Joanna were there,
Yeah.
and then it was me, Nick Torres, Alan Dawson, and Nate Vanderwall. That was our group that we went together with.
Hell of a group.
Yeah, and it's funny because we ended up taking the picture with the vocalist from Sons of Texas. And it doesn't look like hey, we're getting a picture with this guy. It just looks like a regular, like, we're a bunch of friends hanging on each other picture. You know the picture.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and the vocalist is just like,
I don't really want to be
These
here
guys.
right now. Yeah, I'm here with these
and it's
gays.
funny because the individual picture I got with him, he just looks high as fuck.
And it very well could have been.
Oh yeah, definitely. But no, with All the Remains, like here I am. I'm meeting Phil Abani.
Are you excited to see me?
Apparently.
I'm meeting Phil Abani, like one of my favorite vocalists, and I get to tell him, "Hey, dude, I've been wanting to see you guys for years. I have absolutely loved your music, and it's." I don't think I told him it's gotten me through any rough times, but like I was like, it's just meant a lot to me, like the lyrics that you write and the vocals you put out. So I'm just so glad I can meet you and tell you that. And he was all about it. He was like, dude, that's so cool. And then Nick comes in behind me after I'm done talking to him. He's like, so you're a Patriots fan. You're not. He immediately just starts talking shit about the Patriots because he's a Bears fan.
Ooh, the Bears. The shits.
That is such a tourist.
It is. That is like the most Torres thing he could have done. He just immediately starts talking shit about the Patriots.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And you don't even know him.
I know Nick very little, and that doesn't surprise me at all. Good God.
Good times.
Good times.
All the times.
So yeah, this is episode 50. I'm gonna remind everybody several times.
Yeah, man.
This is episode 50. You know, it's crazy to think because
Are you about to fucking exposition about all the fucking times that we've had on the show?
We're gonna look
later.
back.
Are you gonna look back
So,
to every episode
one of the
by
first
one?
one of the first episodes of Journey into Comics I was on was episode 50.
One of like
And
you
I
were
think
on
that was
metal-
actually the second
second. Yeah.
because we did the metal cast, and then we did episode 50, followed by a metal cast.
Which was episode 52.
So the funny thing is, like, you guys had this big plan for episode 50, and you know, it ended up being huge. And here we are at episode 50, and we're doing a regular episode.
Well, it just fits with the
No,
theme
it-
of our show.
it
though.
is.
Did
I mean,
go deep. We went back to episode
It did.
1.
We did.
Which is the most unpodcastrophe episode that has ever been. And we went deep again. Mm-hmm. So we have, in a way, in tone reflected.
yes.
Yes.
Don't worry, folks. I've got a lot of dumb shit to talk about later.
Awesome. Because the only topics I
I'm
really
actually
have.
lying to you. I don't have a lot of dumb shit to talk about, but I'm sure I could come up with something.
Oh, I'm sure.
What are you trying to say there?
I need
Better
an adult.
back the fuck down.
I had one thing, maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
I need an adult. So
Luckily, we have one. Mr. Stone.
Oh,
He's the adult in this room.
shucks.
the only topics I really have involve just this being episode 50.
Your transition into a woman?
That's not public yet.
Oh. Oh.
We'll talk about that later.
All right. Later in the episode.
Yeah.
Next time
Should-
on
should
Dragon
we-
Ball Z.
Go ahead and make the big announcement.
Let's wait till towards the end of the show to do that.
We're gonna wait towards the end of the show, so stick around.
I have a couple things to talk about.
Okay.
That kind of go along with the same tone that we're talking about.
Okay, go for it.
So here recently, I've had a lot of time to kind of hang out by myself at work, and I'm allowed to have headphones in while I'm at work. So I've been finishing a podcast that ended last year, but it's a 3-year-long podcast, and it's called The Adventure Zone. Are either of you guys familiar with My Brother, and Me?
Nope.
Okay, it's 3 guys from West Virginia. 2 of them work for Polygon. I don't remember what the other brother does, but they have this show called My Brother, and Me. It's a comedy podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. They do, it's basically just, like, imagine Saturday Night Live, but good, and totally podcast form. So they decided a couple years ago, I think in late 2015, that they were going to play Dungeons and Dragons on a podcast and call it The Adventure Zone, but they were going to bring their dad in. Their dad was 60 at the time. So they started playing the game and recording it, and it went for over 3 years. And the guy that DM'd for that campaign quickly went away from the pre-written stuff and started writing the story himself. And, excuse me, after basically a 3-year-long podcast, I can say with utmost certainty that I had the privilege of listening to one of the greatest stories that I've ever had told. And, during my time at work the last month, I finished it. I had listened to basically the first 6 months, and then I didn't have time to listen to any other podcast besides our own and Joe Rogan. That's pretty much, I dabbled throughout the network and your guys' stuff, but I didn't have time to focus on one. And over this last month, I fucking finished it. I went episode after episode all day long. And the story just kept getting better and better. And, my foreman would come up to me as I was giggling with my fucking headphones on and, why the fuck are you just standing here laughing to yourself? Well, what they said on the podcast was really funny. And then, they would tug at another emotional string and it would be really powerful. And the storytelling was just fantastic. So I recommend anybody that wants to listen to a good fictional podcast, listen to The Adventure Zone, but appreciate, kind of going back full circle here, back to the beginning of our conversation, appreciate the things that creators do for us. because they're not just doing it for them; they're doing it for
Yeah.
us.
For sure.
So now I have a big void in my life that I finished the Adventure Zone, and my good friend Andy Dietrich, that I really want to get on this show, but also works at Electrician Life and is busy. Him and he finished the Adventure Zone not long before I did, and we're at the same place. We have this huge void, and we have looked, and there is nothing similar to that we can fill that spot with. So I'm a little bit sad.
Well, definitely. But something you will not be filling that void with anytime soon on a major platform is the Alex Jones podcast.
Yeah, nice fucking segue, Brandon.
Oh, hell yeah.
You fucking got it.
Still got it. So something I wanted to talk about was Alex Jones getting banned on Apple, Facebook, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is sort of like it's got a mixed result and a mixed reaction across the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
The funniest thing I did see is something that our good friend Blaine shared. It was Alex Jones yelling shirtlessly yelling into the void of Google Plus. That made me giggle. Now, first off, I want to mention I gave this guy money once.
Wait, you did?
I did. I was subscribed to PrisonPlanet.tv
Okay.
in 2010, maybe 2011. And I have watched several of the documentaries, and I used to listen to the show pretty religiously. The thing is, I don't necessarily disagree because he didn't play by their platform's rules. And what I mean by that is that I don't necessarily want anybody to get banned because of their opinion. That's not what I want. That's
Right.
not what anybody should want.
That's Big Brother. That's some 1984
Exactly.
shit that we don't want
And
happening.
he's claiming that's what it is, but they're claiming that he violated their terms of policy. YouTube and Facebook both have put strikes on his stuff before, but hesitated on actually full out banning him, maybe just for fear of being ostracized by themselves. And Apple, being Apple, who is free and they can do anything they want.
Right.
Apple,
Who's going to challenge Apple?
nobody. You know, Apple takes away your fucking 3.5 millimeter jack and tells you to suck it, and you do it very, very much in protest. But you go, well, God, no, I'm not gonna like this, but can I charge at the same time? No. All right. You have to go buy these really expensive wireless ones.
I had already
Well, on top
moved
of that,
into that
no,
world.
hold on, real quick. I saw an article on Facebook the other day that Apple is a whatever number billion-dollar company, okay?
Yeah.
And it showed a picture of the iPhone charging cables throughout the generations, and they're all identical, where they're fucking frayed and broken, like right where that plastic piece is at the bottom. This is like a fucking $30 billion company, or $90 billion company, whatever it is. And they're still fucking giving all you people that buy their shit this fucking $3 fucking charging cable that frays and breaks in the exact same spot every time.
As much as they try to improve and say, well, this one's going to fit in there better, the port's going to be fine, it's not going to break as less, if it breaks in the exact same spot.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
exact same spot.
I've never had that happen on me.
Really? So you're really careful with your iPhone stuff.
Like the majority of people just don't know how to handle things.
I've never had an iPhone and never plan to.
Me either.
Every
Thank
time
you.
my wife says, take my picture, I go,
the one thing that I do, and this is hard for me to say a lot of times because I'm a guy that boycotts fucking Apple. I will not buy into their fucking agenda. I will not let Apple monopolize any more shit with my money. Because Apple, like Disney's gonna merge with Apple, and then at that point they will fucking be our overlords. When that happens, you know, they'll fucking absorb Comcast and the world will just go to shit. But they have a better camera than everybody. I mean, there's not an Android phone. I mean, some Android phones are like, look, our camera's better than iPhone. My wife's iPhone is like 3 fucking generations behind my phone, and it takes 10 times a fucking better picture than mine does.
what do you have?
I have a S8 Plus.
I have a S9 Plus, and I think it looks decent. It looks pretty good.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that my phone takes bad pictures, but especially like video.
What?
When my wife is taking video, I do not know what they've got fucking tucked into that little magic box of fucking conundrum. But
Which iPhone does she have?
she's got an S8 Plus.
An
No,
iPhone?
she's got an
S8 Plus?
S7 Plus. It's the fucking red one. Whatever the red one was.
iPhone 7 Plus.
Does it
Okay.
bother you when they have that little like thing where like when you take a picture, it takes a short thing of video? So when you're
The live? I love
the
those.
well, like it looks like you're flipping through a goddamn Harry Potter gallery because everybody like slowly moves a little bit. Like
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Some of it is cool sometimes because like especially we take a lot of pictures of my kid. So we get to see my kid doing a lot of weird shit when we're taking pictures.
A couple years ago.
But I do. Let me finish real quick. I
Okay.
do have to concede to Apple. They've got the fucking camera market. I don't know who they fucking killed and fucking kidnapped and or keeping prisoner that are fucking manufacturing their cameras and their fucking camera technology for them. But they've got that fucking market pegged. No one's gonna touch that. But I still agree that my phone is better in every way.
they're definitely keeping Alex Jones prisoner because at the
Right.
moment, he can pretty much scream into the void that is his website. I do believe they still have his app up, so you can still get his app on the App Store.
I can't say for sure.
Well, it may be down now. But all right, so a lot of people are pretty much, trying to, they're sticking up for him. And I think Alex Jones is about right 30% of the time.
There's a lot of people sticking up for him that I would have never expected.
Right. Well, okay. In terms of just like free speech, now I believe in free speech 110 fucking percent. But free speech is only allotted in so many places and areas to the point of like we do not have free speech at work.
Slimer.
Oh. We cannot say whatever we want at work. It's by place to the place, time, location.
Well, you are not on your time. You are on Subaru.
Exactly.
Fucking automotive Indiana's time.
All right, so like the First Amendment protects our speech in a public setting. A lot of times, these apps, social medias, they all have terms of service, to where you have to abide by them. You have to agree to them.
Right. I can't get on Facebook right now and take a picture of my dick.
Exactly.
That's
yes.
a part of their
And-
fucking terms and conditions. I cannot show nudity on their page. It doesn't matter if it's my dick or your dick or a fucking elephant's dick. They don't want fucking dicks strung along the fucking interweb.
Where are we?
I don't want him either.
You don't
are we
count.
streaming? He's a dick.
His name is Blaine.
Yes, that is right. He is.
That's
Blaine.
how we get around it.
My name is Blaine Tyner.
Yeah.
So I
Just silent
found
dick.
it's a silent dick.
I like it.
So I found on the Infowars.com terms of service when you create an account.
You told me this earlier.
Yes, I told you this like last week.
Yeah.
So when you go to create an account on Infowars and you want to comment on the articles and videos or whatever, you have to agree to a terms of service. And they are, you will not post anything libelous, defamatory, harmful, threatening, harassing, abusive, invasive of another's privacy, hateful, racially or ethnically objectionable or otherwise illegal. You will not make threats to other users or people not associated with the site. If you violate these rules, your post and or username will be deleted. Remember, you are a guest here. It is not censorship if you violate the rules and your post is deleted. All civilizations have rules, and if you violate them, you can expect to be ostracized from the tribe. So, Mr. Jones, from this guy's point of view, you have really incited violence in people. Some of your listeners have the IQ of a fucking number 2 pencil. They believe every word you say, not just some. You do have some good points, sir. You definitely do. I'm not going to come back and say that everything that you've preached is 100% wrong, because it isn't. I listened. I paid you. I understand. I learned. I understand who and what you are as a content provider and creator and personality. You also testified in court that you're just a performance actor. So, I mean, that's there. The problem is when you start violating the terms of service of your publisher or of your platforms, you cannot needlessly cry and say censorship.
Right.
Sorry. But you also have to play by the rules that you also outlined in your own website. Okay? I'm not coming out here to say that... I didn't come out here and say anything. I could have said so much more shit about some of the stuff that he's done, said, or right or wrong.
I'm gonna have sex with your 6-year-old.
you know, that and taken out of context, of course. But
Right.
then also some of this, all the different, anybody watching or listening can easily go and look at anything, okay? Anything at all from what he said about certain big things in the last couple of years. People have also, who don't work for him anymore, have gone on a statement to say that he has fundamentally changed. When I listened to him, it didn't matter if you were left. It didn't matter if you were right. The enemy is the government. It is everybody. They're just one party. They're all working together. And now he is a nothing but a conservative shill for news. Speaking that same thing, always attacking one side. And he went where the money is.
Right.
I understand it, but I don't respect it.
The only, and I totally agree with everything that you just said. The only thing that I would kind of say it's a slippery slope, and I think some of the people are looking at it as, okay, this is basically a celebrity. We're going to call him a celebrity, TV personality, you know, social media celebrity, whatever you want to label Alex Jones as.
Yes.
Companies, businesses have basically said, well, we are not going to allow him to preach whatever it is he preaches. I think a lot of the people look at it from the perspective that I do, that, okay, what if Apple wakes up tomorrow and says, okay, well, we don't potentially like Ben Shapiro's slightly, and I'm not even going to label it slightly, because I personally used to have a lot of respect for Ben Shapiro. And then as his personality has continued to grow and develop, more times than not, he's bringing religion into a place that there should not be religion. And I'm a religious guy in my own way, but I do not buy into the big three fucking, you know, religious businesses.
Pepsi, Coke, Dr. Pepper.
Thank you. I just, when I'm involved in politics, which I try to stay as out of the loop on politics as I possibly can, because I don't believe in the government, and what government I do believe in is a fraction of what the one we have is. I don't want to fucking hear about religion, especially Christianity, because I don't want to hear it. That's not what I'm looking to educate myself on. So if Apple wakes up tomorrow and they're like, you know what? We really don't want any of this Christianity stuff on our service. And you know what? You're a conservative. We don't really like what conservatives have to say. Boom, you're gone. Now, I'm not saying it's going to get to that extreme by any means.
Right.
But I think a lot of people that are educated are worried, is this opening the door for that 1984 Big Brother mentality?
Sure.
Are we opening the door for that happen on a level that isn't already happening?
Yes, and you know what? It is funny because Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro have like this feud going on. Mm-hmm.
They are not fans of each other.
No. And something that Alex has said to Ben is that he wants to go up to San Francisco with some army buddies and take him down politically. He has started doing this lately. If you ever watch clips or videos of Alex, he gets all riled up and said, I'm going to take you out in the streets and finish you off politically. He's added that in, or he also says metaphysically, because of how many times he has been sued for speaking that part and basically making... They're baseless threats. He ain't going to do shit. We know that. You know it. He knows it. However, it's just the idea of now he's covering his ass. Everybody needs to remember that he pretty much got cucked by Shobani.
Right.
It was like, I don't know if it was a year ago, year and a half ago. It's been a while. But he came out with these accusations that Shobani was involved with refugees and a child sex ring. Shobani, yogurt. They make sour milk cream that you eat.
Right.
Is involved in child sex rings with the refugees coming out from Libya or wherever they were coming from. Maybe they were Syria.
I think it was Syria.
Roundabouts. Okay. I mean, forgive me if I don't remember.
Northern Africa or Middle East.
Forgive
it's kind
me,
of all the same place.
Forgive me if I forget the exact geographical location of said refugees a year or two and 2 years later. It's kind of difficult to remember.
Right.
Well, they've pretty much said, yeah, you can't do that. That isn't happening, and you can't go on your programs basically saying that. We're gonna take it to court. And then he pretty much challenged them on air Do it. Come at me. You ain't gonna do nothing. You want to give me that cord. You want to get in my business, son? What happens when people get in my business? They ain't in business long, pal. And the next week, on behalf of InfoWars, Alex Jones here, I'd like to apologize to Shabani Yogurt for certain statements mentioned here on the program, on YouTube and on our audio show, which will have been taken down and won't be reposted. He got fucking slammed.
Well, because you can't. I mean, it's pretty well known. Well, let me rephrase that. It should be pretty well known among businessmen and women that you cannot slander other businesses, other corporations. You cannot slander someone like that.
No.
If you have legitimate accusations, fucking bring them to whoever needs to see them. But you cannot just say, regardless of whether the fact you're a TV personality and you're a performer on however you want to word it, you can't just say, yeah, Tyler McLaughlin here, Podcastrophe, you heard it first.
Heard it here first, folks.
Branden Stone is running a giraffe sex ring. He's butt-fucking all the giraffes at the Indianapolis Zoo. I mean, I can't slander you that way.
No.
Regardless of how comedic it is, regardless of how bullshit it is, I legally cannot say that about you without expecting retaliation.
Yes, exactly.
Legally.
Yes, of course. Because that is absolutely
I would expect
ridiculous.
if I say that you're butt fucking giraffes, I would expect you to have a problem with me saying that you're butt fucking giraffes. But
Instead, he's like, oh, he's not wrong.
no, I mean, yeah, I'm butt fucking all the giraffes. God, I gotta have a ladder for those things. But legally, I mean, I don't understand how, as a businessman or woman, regardless of what industry you work in, if you are that in the spotlight, how you do not have someone following you around all the time saying, okay, seriously, Branden, we cannot fucking say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Legally, we cannot say that. It's hilarious. I love it.
Brandon's over here, like, thinking to himself, how did he know I'm that into giraffes?
Right. But, I mean, seriously, though, legally, like, how do you not have someone holding you accountable? Like, number one,
Right.
you should be holding yourself accountable.
Oh,
I
definitely.
understand you're filling a role and you're playing a part and doing whatever
Yeah.
it is to make you
Yeah.
the most money. It's fucking capitalism. We all want to make money. But how do you not have someone that's there like, whoa, hey, pal.
Back it off.
Let's turn this from 11 down to about a 7, and then it'll slide and it'll be okay. But I can't say that. You really shouldn't say that Brandon's butt fucking giraffes at the Indianapolis Zoo.
And he's,
Like, we really should not say that.
he has started to like rein it back. And he gets to the point where he gets worked up. I'm sorry, folks, it's the family show. And he gets.
It's a family show.
I just get so mad. And he hits something really hard, and goes off on a tangent. Now, okay, so one thing I wonder is, okay, so all these services have now just like, all right, you can't. We're not going to put you on our airwaves or on our or showcase you in that manner, because I'm sure they have some sort of protection for themselves in their own terms of service. But what are the odds that he could say or do something that is actually hurtful or harmful to someone or some people? Mm-hmm. And Facebook featured that, and because he paid for the sponsoring, it was not a sponsored
Right.
post. So then, does that mean that they could be liable in court for that?
Absolutely.
And so I totally understand and respect those platforms, because they've got to look after their own.
Right.
And they got to look after, like, okay, look, this guy, we've had problems with him. We've asked him to stop, and he's still doing it. And then Apple's like, he's down! Take him down right now! Apple did it. We're okay. We won't be the bad guys.
Right. Yeah, the only thing, and again, I don't disagree with you a bit. The only thing that I would like to see, there is a lot of, I'm just gonna try and over encompass it as clickbaity topics.
Yes.
Like some of the feminism stuff, some of the Black Lives Matter stuff that I've seen is very controversial. They're not really doing anything different than Alex Jones was. And don't get me wrong, when I say they, I don't mean all of them. I mean, the extremist side of their media platforms are doing it, they should be held to the same standard. And if they're not, then that's when I have a problem with it.
Sure.
Because I totally agree. Just like any business has a right to refuse service to anyone, if Apple doesn't want Alex Jones fucking chanting his doctrine on their service, they have the right to do that. Mm-hmm. You know, if you showed up today, if you showed up today and started saying something controversial enough to the point that it made me uncomfortable, this episode would not air, and I probably would not ask you to come back. And it's no different. I don't look at it as any different. So he still has the freedom to do that on his own website.
And also on radio airwaves.
Right.
He's not been, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't been taken down from a general radio show that he normally does, where he's even placed at a higher form of possible censorship due to just language and,
right.
you know, and stuff like that. So, like, there was something where, like, okay, so YouTube ended up taking down a number of his videos about Sandy Hook. Mm-hmm. Because the parents got together.
Well, there's so many lawsuits against Alex Jones on his accusations that Sandy Hook was a staged event, that no one actually died, that they were all crisis actors, and blah, 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 going on and on. The accusations are numerous and varied. But the majority of the families and people that were involved in that incident banded together, and they all fucking sued Alex Jones.
Mm-hmm. And they got YouTube to take those videos down.
Yes.
And,
which is only right.
No, definitely.
In my opinion, is only right because, you know, I'm not going to buy into his theory. I'm not going to discredit his theory. If Sandy Hook was a fucking hoax, cool. Alex Jones has been calling it out for a long time. If it really happened, then that is tragic, and it's extremely fucking terrible, and
you better have some primo fucking proof.
Right.
Not just, I saw this person here on the video and they were over here on the video. No, now look at them, they're walking here, they're doing this. Not this little breakdown stuff. Because if I'm a parent.
Absolutely.
And I lose my 6-year-old to a radical fucking shooter. And then he's going to sit there and say, that didn't happen to him. He's faking. The amount of rage, it's going to, like, I'm already traumatized at this point, having lost my child in such a severe way.
And you've got this nut job fucking saying that it was all fake.
Buddy, I can't even explain the amount of emotional rage I would have.
Right.
It would, like, to me...
And it's absolutely warranted.
To me, these people are saints by taking it to court.
Right.
Because I would just be... I can't even, like, fathom what I would do. I would probably bring harm more so to myself. You know, and then you have listeners of his harassing these people, finding out where they live, doxing them.
Right.
And they've had to move several times over the last couple of years.
Which is one of the things that I have, I've tried to stay pretty neutral as far as Alex Jones goes, because some of the stuff that he says I really buy into and I think is really accurate and people should hear, and then a lot of the shit is bullshit, you know, for lack of a better term. But at no point in any of this should his fans be fucking harassing people in their personal lives. That's just fucking wrong.
Yeah.
That is absolutely wrong.
Absolutely.
And then also the whole Pizzagate scandal, where he claimed there was a Washington, D.C. government child sex ring. He doesn't think of these child sex rings being run through the basement of a local...
Do you think he's projecting?
I don't think so. I think it's just an extremely controversial topic.
Yeah.
That especially with people that are parents like us, and you are now a step parent, so that should hit you at home.
Oh, yeah.
That should make you feel something.
That
So
will trigger
it's
your
almost
defense mechanism to help protect children.
Thank you. It's a subliminal... I'm sorry. Again, it's a podcast. I can't talk. It's a subliminal clickbait.
Uh-huh.
You are instantly drawn to that topic. Wait, a sex ring? child sex ring? What? You know, you should key in on that right away and have a problem with it. You know.
Yeah.
Now, a listener.
Unless it's a giraffe sex ring.
Okay, so yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. All right, so he claimed he was ran out of the basement of this pizza place in D.C. A listener went to that place of business with a gun, wanting to talk to these people. Mm-hmm. Now, thankfully, nobody was hurt. I can only imagine what kind of shit would go down.
Oh God!
If somebody was in fact hurt, because this is America. People carry. Imagine a dude walking to your place of business with a rifle, and you're like, if you feel threatened and if you have a gun, what are you going to do?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, either the person who walked in is injured or killed, or one of the patrons.
Not many of the patrons.
Patrons, or even management or people who work there. And all because this place, it didn't even have a basement. It didn't exist. It was a fabrication. Mm-hmm. Completely. It was something that he ran with and kept hammering it home each and every day. And I can only imagine the shitstorm if somebody was hurt. Thankfully, nobody was.
Well, and that's kind of a slippery slope in itself, because at that point, do you hold Alex Jones liable for that?
He had to apologize.
In my mind, I would hold him liable for that, because he is inciting violence in other people. So
and that is one reason why I will stand by the decision to remove him, because it's not about views, it's not about politics, it's about that kind of shit.
Right.
And that shit has happened, and it could possibly happen again, and it could be worse. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing that okay, so after I realized kind of what he was and kind of what he did, and he made money off of people by driving their fears.
Basically indoctrinating people.
Well, I mean, he would make people feel like we need to rise up against our government. And,
which I agree with.
And they're going to come for us, and we need to live on we're going to be living in the wild, all of us with our guns. And he would get so raged up, he would end that segment screaming, and then the next segment would be him selling ready-to-eat meals for you to eat while you're living on the wild. He's making money.
Right.
I was like, blown. Like, oh my gosh, I get it. So I quit listening for a little while, and then I saw a video on his website. It was for the iPhone 6. Do you remember that? Do you remember that piece of device?
Yeah.
The iPhone 6.
2 decades ago,
It's
I
been a long
remember
time.
the iPhone 6.
Well, anyway, so like it was pulling people's hairs when they would talk on the phone. So, you'd have your phone up here, and like the little like plastic or metal on the side of it'd kind of pull your hair. Well, they were claiming that there was a sensor in here
I remember this
that would
one.
scan your DNA and send it to the government. So basically, Apple equals government, which probably will happen at some point. But as of right now, they're two separate entities. But basically,
just look forward to that Disney Apple Comcast merger, folks. It's gonna happen.
Well,
it's gonna
because
ruin the world.
they already got your thumbprint on your phone. So they got your thumbprint, and now they have your DNA. They got it for everybody. Everybody, all you shills that are buying Apple. And the dude who was doing this video. It wasn't Alex, but it was it was on his website. Mm-hmm. And
he was basically advertising.
Yes, exactly. And then he goes, "What do you guys think?
I really like this, by the way.
Like,
It's really good.
is Apple really doing this? You guys decide." And there was a poll. And I'm like, break the fucker open.
Yeah, crack that bad boy
Crack it open.
Let's
Let's
fucking
see this
do
shit.
this, folks.
Let's bury this thing once and for all. Do these guys have a component in here that is like pulling out hairs, and they designed it for that little pincer?
You know they were going to, and then there's like a producer in the back of the stage going, no, we can't afford it.
Yeah, well, okay.
Can't afford another.
Well,
I
number
can't
one,
buy a fucking
number
10
one, he
grand
makes
iPhone 6.
He is worth like multiple millions of dollars. He can't afford it. We have YouTube channels that buy a phone to blend it or drop it off a high building.
Or have you seen
Or
the ones where they drop them in like the fucking crusher machine?
Yes,
that's got all
those
the
are the
teeth?
new ones.
Or
That's the new big one.
The 1,000-degree knife versus iPhone 6.
Yes.
The 1,000-degree knife, the little
1,000-degree
iron
knife
ball.
versus the fucking iron ball. Yeah.
The hydraulic presses were big for a while.
I love the 1,000-degree knife.
You're a 1,000-degree knife.
You're a
But-
1,000-degree knife. You're so
You're a
hot.
belligerent fuck.
I just called you hot.
What?
I said you're so hot.
I'm so uncomfortable right now. Giraffes.
Giraffes.
You know what? All right, so there was a guy that used to work with us. Yeah, he was a Mexican dude.
He butt fuck giraffes.
No, hold on now. I'm not sure what he does in his.
I really like giraffes.
I don't know
if
what
it was
this
Marco,
guy does.
then yeah.
in his leisure time.
I actually don't like giraffes. I think they're terrifying.
Yes. If it was Marco, then yes.
Well, no, it wasn't Marco. It was some
damn.
other dude. He was a Mexican dude, and he spoke very little English. But I taught him plentiful amounts of words that he will need to get by in life. Like,
Yes.
I have to pee. I taught him FREE. That spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. Taught him I'm loving it. I taught him a lot of these things. Okay.
I used to remember that whole jingle. I used to be able to fucking lay that whole jingle.
There
out,
were
the
so
whole
many of
fucking
those, man.
The whole
That little
fucking
band.
theme song.
But he had nicknames for everybody.
Chilling in my new car. This one's me. Freecreditreport.com, baby.
You even did a little mouth movement
Yeah.
when he kind of bit his lip after, like, I nailed that take.
Yeah.
Well, his nickname for me was Girafe, and that's like giraffe, which is ironic as shit.
Huh.
All things come full circle, I guess.
Real quick, AP, Blaine and I are actually talking about making a trip up north to where we can kind of record a 3-episode jaunt to encompass you and the other members of the northern branch of the network. So just work with us on that. I literally just came up with this idea in my head.
Yeah.
So when I say that we've been talking about it, we have literally
We are
just
literally
been
talking about it right now.
As
But
per
it's
usual.
something that Blaine and I need to do.
Oh, definitely.
Especially after the last poor report. I really need to get up there. I really need to hang out with you, so we can talk some stuff one-on-one. Because I kind of want to invest in the poor report. We need to, and poor entertainment. We need to talk some one-on-one. So
Poor Entertainment dropped today.
it did.
Tuesday, for those listening on
You're
Thursday.
fucking Tuesday.
Hopefully it wasn't a poor showing.
Ooh, nice fucking pun, my man.
All best of luck in your new venture there, poor boy. I'm really looking forward to it.
His first comment was, Brandon!
Poor boy!
So, real quick, just to kind of on a lighter tone before we segue to something else, has anyone here seen the Meg yet?
I have not.
Well, okay, so we were planning on seeing it tomorrow. Things came up. She had to go to, Miranda had to go to Kentucky.
Okay.
So we're going to try to see it either Friday or Saturday.
So let me ask you this. How would you like to see it early, the fucking matinee show on Saturday, and I'll fucking come with you?
Let me talk to Miranda. And my answer is yes.
Hey, do me a favor real quick.
Nope.
Walk into that
Nope.
closet and find your fucking
Nope.
balls and your big boy pants.
Nope.
And then let me know if they're in there or not, and then answer my question.
My answer is yes. Gonna see what she wants
Is
to
it
do.
yes or is it yes?
It's yes.
Yes.
I want to see what she wants to do first.
That's fair. If you guys want a fucking third wheel, I will totally fucking jack off for 2 hours. Just Jason Statham and a giant shark.
I've heard good things about it.
I have also heard very good things about it, so I'm excited to
I
see
especially heard some good things about it on Poor Entertainment today.
it.
Second plug.
You're a fucking plug.
Maybe I am. So I've heard it's a really dumb movie that knows it's a really dumb movie
So
in the best of ways.
my good friend Andy, this is how he laid it on to me. Remember when we were kids and you would be home by yourself,
Jacking off
potentially, and you watched Giant Shark versus Giant Octopus, which then was a marathon and turned into Sharktopus versus Dino Croc, and then that immediately fucking rolled into Sharkto Dino Croc Puss versus Mecha Shark Dino Croc Puss. You know what I'm talking about? All those B movies.
All those those are E movies.
that all fucking tied together, but it was
Yeah.
one after another. It is a good version of that. That's how it was relayed to me, and
that's
that
kinda
really,
what I gathered.
That fucking really resonates with me because I fucking remember, no shit, I would be at home, summer break, Christmas break, whatever. It didn't matter. The weekends. When I was a kid, I got up really early on the weekends so I could maximize the time that I fucked off.
Oh yeah. Me too.
Fucking 3:30 in the fucking morning, I'm up. I went to bed at fucking midnight.
I got
Maybe
up
an
at
hour
7.
ago. It just depended on the day. But 3:30 in the fucking morning up, I'm watching fucking Antiques fucking Roadshow. I might jack off 7 times, and then I'm gonna fucking crank on a B-movie sci-fi fucking marathon. I might watch about 4 hours of the fucking Twilight Zone.
Do you guys remember Monster Vision on TNT?
Fuck
Yes,
yeah, I
absolutely.
do.
Where they just showed nothing but old-ass Godzilla movies?
Okay, remember Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's fucking Lost World
Yeah.
on fucking TNT?
The TV series?
Yo, fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With the fucking beautiful sweater meat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fucking fighting dinosaurs and fucking Land of the Lost shit. Yeah. All of that.
Okay, so Mystery Science Theater 3000. Anybody?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, all of what I just said, a good version of that is how the Meg was kind of conveyed to me. And I'm a big Jason Statham fan.
Oh, yeah. I was just talking... I was talking to Jennifer about it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, Jennifer.
Yee.
I was talking to her. I was like, I'm so glad he's in a movie.
It's been a little bit.
I think the last movie, besides Fate of the Furious and Fast 7, the last movie I saw him in was probably Homefront. Excellent movie, by the way.
Yeah, and I think before that it was the last Expendables movie. With before that, well, you know, he's getting to be an older guy. He's also not a very large guy. He's about our height.
Yeah. As most British people are.
Right. Well, no, a lot of British people are tall.
He's really short.
They got some of that fucking Anglo-Saxon in them. If you guys, if any of you fans out there want some Anglo-Saxon in them, call me up.
But please first order the Heritage shirt.
Yeah.
Or the True Heritage shirt linked in the comments here.
Yeah, I had to be fucking creepy at least once this show.
So is that
Besides
like-
butt fucking
Is
giraffe.
that almost like the shiny version, like that, like
Yes.
like in Pokemon?
It's the Mega Evolution.
They
I
decided.
do want to talk Pokemon Go with you right after this.
Okay.
Don't let me forget.
So they added Mega Evolutions to Pokemon Let's Go.
That is one of the things I want to talk about. If we
Spoiler alert.
if we can fucking finish Jason Statham, for the love of God.
Are we gonna finish him?
Yes. Both of us.
He'll be
Together.
so drained.
I don't know that
Together.
I don't know that he will enjoy it, but we are going to finish him. So yeah,
He'll probably kill us.
maybe. He's probably a really inept guy. He's just a really nice guy.
He's
Like-
very well rehearsed.
He just fucking like rubs your back and like gives you one of those pats on the back.
hey, thank you.
You're doing a good job, guys.
You're doing a really good job, guys. Thank you.
He kind of strokes that gruff that he always has. Like he never shaves his face.
He's
It's
got
always,
a permanent 5 o'clock shadow.
It's just fucking
Oh, it's great.
gruff all the time.
It is absolutely great.
He's like rubbing his head and fucking his stomach at the same time. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm really enjoying it.
Feels really good.
Feels really good. But yeah, so definitely talk to Miranda. Let me know. I like cornered my wife yesterday, and I was like, "Do you want to go see the Meg with me?" And she's like, "No."
And then your dick went.
Well, I'm 3/4 chub all the time, so I can be ready for any situation. But it did, and then it went right back to 3/4 just to be safe. But before we get to Pokemon Go, what I've been doing for the last couple weeks, not that anyone really cares, but at least I know 2 people that might slightly care. I've been working a lot, and fucking Shark Week, my man. Shark Week. So, when I was a little boy, I wanted to be a fucking marine biologist more than
Same.
anything in my fucking life.
I like squid.
Okay, Blaine likes to butt fuck squid. They don't even have anuses, but he likes to make one.
He likes to make them ink.
Yes.
They're very malleable. So
you put them
you
in
can
your
make a
ass.
butthole.
Okay. Anyway, so
They're like those.
the fucking wiggle. I call them wiggle worms. The fucking child's fleshlight.
they're like the wiggle worms that I fucked.
Yeah. So anyway, so when I was a kid, I wanted to be a marine biologist more than anything. The last decade, I will say, I have really struggled with ways that I can relax and kind of detach from reality.
I thought you were gonna say struggle with ways to become a marine biologist.
Well, that too, for
Just
sure.
the last couple of years, I've finally really decided, like, This is a lot harder than I thought.
Right. I mean, we do live in a landlocked shithole of a state. But anyway, so that was what I wanted to do when I was a kid. You know, when everyone else was saying, I want to be a fireman, and I want to be a doctor, and I want to be a police officer, I want to fucking scuba dive in the ocean and swim with sharks and shit. That was me. So when I saw Shark Week for the first time, it was like fucking, you know, just brain explosion, just fucking, wow. Fucking, it's the ocean, which I love, and it's sharks, and all kinds of cool shit that I love. So fast forward, you know, 20 years, and I don't get to go to the ocean as much as I want, and I don't get to live by the ocean like I want. I'm looking at you, fucking wife of mine. But, you know, all of those things, so, like, the guaranteed escape that I have every year is Shark Week. And I'm not at home on fucking summer vacation like I was when I was a kid. So I literally, every year, record every episode that's airing for that entire week. I might have seen this fucking episode, say, Isle of Jaws. I might have seen Isle of Jaws every year since 2013.
Is that the one about the sharks that shoot up through the water?
That is one of the ones about the great whites that breach. The term that you're looking for is breach.
Words.
I'm smart. But I also really love Shark Week, and I'm fully hard right now. So, but I record every single show during that week. I might have seen that show 10 times, but I'm recording it every year, no matter what. So my DVR went from like 30% to like 98% in a matter of, you know, 7 days, because I'm literally recording all the shit. So I have literally the last fucking week just been working episode by episode throughout my entire fucking Shark Week journey. And, you know, we went to the Indy Zoo on Sunday.
I saw that.
That's why I didn't attend your celebration Saturday night, because I had to get up early and drive to the zoo. But
good to know now.
Yeah. I mean, I told you ahead of time that I probably wasn't going to make it. And you should just accept at this point that I'm going to perpetually let you down. And I really don't like you. So, anyway, moving on from that and back to the topic at hand. You know, we went to the zoo. We had a nice, I'm going to say half a day at the zoo. We had a picnic when we got done with the zoo. Ruby had a fucking awesome time. I mean, she fucking made a friend with a stingray, which was really cool. So when you first walk into, like, the undersea or the fucking ocean portion of the Indy Zoo, they have this giant fucking tank that is nothing but a variation or a species of stingray. Mm-hmm. And there was this one stingray that no matter where I put Ruby on this giant fucking aquarium, it fucking followed my kid.
That's awesome.
And was like coming up against the glass and like laying on the glass and all kinds of shit. And my kid was just like, this is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. You know, and there was, I had to explain to the people with me, these are dogfish, not sharks. They're a cousin of the shark. But you know, they have that like touch pool where you can touch the dogfish. There was this one fucking dogfish that was like, would not go around anybody else but us. So my fucking kid had a cow because this fucking shark is like, it's our best friend. We made a best friend with a shark and a stingray in the same day.
It's impressive.
That's a good day.
Right. It's a good day. So me being the fucking ocean enthusiast that I am and my love of the ocean, my kid also already has a love for the ocean and she's never even fucking seen it. So that was a cool dad moment for me.
Oh, of course. That's so neat.
I mean, fuck the giraffes. Not literally,
No,
Branden.
no, we're not trying to trigger you.
But you know, of all the shit that we did at the zoo, you know, we watched the dolphin show, which once you see a dolphin show,
you've seen them all.
I mean, you've seen a dolphin show.
Yeah.
And, you know, I recommend anybody that's listening to this podcast watch the documentary Blackfish.
Oh, definitely.
And then you will kind of rethink the whole SeaWorld. And, you know, dolphins are different for me because dolphins actually serve a purpose. You know, they actually fill a role in the military. And, Dolphins can actually be service/therapy animals for people with mental health diseases and disabilities. Dolphins can fill a lot of roles. Orcas or killer whales, Free Willy, is not meant to be in a fucking pool.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I have an issue with SeaWorld as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, once you've seen a dolphin show, you've seen a dolphin show. I mean, it's a fucking aquatic mammal.
I mean,
it's an aquatic mammal that fucking does flips and shit.
As against.
You like my Lonely Island reference there, didn't you?
You stopped me dead in my
It
tracks.
wasn't even fucking intentional. It just flowed right out of the old cake hole.
Being that I'm very against having watched Blackfish, and I'm now very against SeaWorld, very against the captivity of orcas.
I'm not against SeaWorld. Don't let me don't mistake me there. I'm against having orcas in captivity.
Okay.
Well, haven't they started to like?
Supposedly.
So with some legislation, you cannot, and I don't know it exactly, but you basically can't capture any wild orcas and bring them into captivity. You have to raise them yourself.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's kind of gray area territory at that point.
Eventually they
because
will
it's
run.
still wrong.
Yeah. Eventually they'll probably end up kind of running out.
Yes.
If they can keep mating them, that's one thing. But eventually they'll probably be like, we'll just kind of stop and let them live for another 30 years.
Right. Well, see, I mean, you can form your own opinion, and like we always say on the show, form your own opinion, do your own research, think for yourself. The whole Blackfish thing is our opinion. You know, we have a problem with orcas being in captivity. You may not. But as a conservationist, I'm a hunter. My view of what conservation is, protecting the orca population does not have anything to do with putting them in a pool in an amusement park.
Right.
You know, there are ways to do it, and that is not the way to do it. That is purely for your entertainment.
And despite me being so against it,
it is a predatory animal.
Oh, definitely.
It is not there for your entertainment.
I've watched so many documentaries on them fucking things. Like they're
you just trivialized the fuck out of our topic here.
No, they're so fucking cool. That's not. I'm not.
Well, it's not even okay. So let's break this down a little further. It's not even that they are so cool. They are potentially the second most intelligent animal on this planet.
Yes.
There is the possibility that they are actually more intelligent than us. There are theories circulating.
Each pod has its own language.
Each pod has its own language. They have their own hierarchy and fucking pecking order, and
they all hunt. Like each pod hunts its own individual thing,
and they all hunt them differently.
Yes.
So, Pod A and Pod B might actually hunt the same animal, but they do it entirely different. They are completely unique animals. Their brain is about 10 times the size of our fucking brain.
The one I watched.
They are fucking woke.
This pod was right.
Thank you.
This pod was
Pop Culture Reference 2018. Fucking give me a gold star.
This pod of orcas was hunting stingray. Mm-hmm. So the two of them swam down to the bottom where it was hidden underneath the sand. One of them used its blowhole to blow it out. The other grabbed it with their mouth by the stinger.
Not with their ass.
Yes.
They grabbed it with their mouth.
Preferably.
Or their hands. Thank you for really fucking theater of the mind describing that for us. Okay, so orca grabs the stingray with its mouth.
And then the one that just blew it out fucking eats it.
I just saw like an orca street shark.
Yes.
You remember that?
God, I miss that show. Real quick, before we continue on orcas, what's your favorite shark, Blaine?
Real
quick.
Tiger.
Okay. Brandon, what's your favorite shark?
What's his name? Slamu.
What?
Are we going off street sharks or actual sharks?
No, I mean actual sharks.
Oh.
Like actual species of sharks.
Slamu.
I was on street sharks.
I almost had a stroke just now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I fucking love street sharks, but
Slamu. What the fuck are you talking about, kid?
I'm talking actual fucking.
Oh.
Wait, wasn't Slamu actually an orca? it was the one street shark that was actually a whale and not a shark.
That'd be
And
funny.
they never made fun of him for
They
it.
never made fun of him for it. They accepted him no matter what.
They never excluded him or anything. It's-
Well, while he's looking it up, we're going to talk about street sharks for a second. How great... Okay, so I'm going to a 90s themed trivia night on Thursday.
Oh, yeah?
At a bar that I've never been to, and I didn't even fucking knew existed. And don't ask me what the name is because I don't fucking remember it. It's like fucking theme and something. It's like a fucking lawyer's office name. Like imagine like a fucking law practice. That's what the name of this bar is.
It's fucking speakeasy or
It's
something?
really fucking close to DT Kirby's.
Okay.
But anyway, it's a 90s themed trivia night, which, you know, you're obviously more than welcome to go. I'm not going to tell you
When
can't
is it?
go. Thursday.
Okay.
But, like, I fucking miss, like I miss a lot of the stuff from the 90s, but I really miss a couple shows. I fucking miss Street Sharks. I fucking miss Biker Mice from Mars.
Hell yes.
I don't even know that one.
Are you fucking serious? Get out!
I don't even know that one.
It's badass. I still have the fucking action figures in my toy box.
Yeah, I've never even heard of
Get
that
mad
one.
at me.
Big Slamoo.
Oh, yeah.
And he's an actual shark.
Yeah. Not the orca whale.
No.
I think the orca, one of the orca whale might have actually been one of the villains.
Of course he would be. Well, okay, so then they had Extreme Dinosaurs.
Yes.
Which was like that
The
version.
spin-off.
Because I had Big Slamoo, which I still have
Ooh.
in my house. And then I also had the dude on the rollerblades.
Is that the Hammerhead?
Was
Was that the Hammerhead or the Mako?
I don't remember. Because I just ended up seeing like a kind of a group picture that had an amalgamation of Street Sharks and
God,
dinosaurs.
I fucking miss Street Sharks. But Street Sharks, Biker Mice from Mars, and fucking... What the hell was it called? What was the game show on Nickelodeon?
Double Dare?
No. Not the slime one either. Had the giant temple face.
Oh, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
Yes, I fucking miss that show.
With Olmec.
Yes, thank you.
They ended up making a kind of a shitty movie about that.
Oh.
But
And fucking all that. Of
All
course.
that,
You
yeah,
know,
all that was great.
fucking Keenan and Kel.
Just recently, it made the rounds on Facebook. The whole Keenan Thompson and Chris Farley segment they did
With fucking ketchup
With
and chocolate.
Yeah,
I shared that thing not long ago because I remember fucking watching
Yes,
that when
same.
it aired.
yes. And I saw that and went, I forgot he did that. That was right before he died.
Well, you know what this needs?
Some more
Ketchup! And
listen-
fucking, it needs chocolate, not ketchup.
Well, I'm right there one step ahead of you there, Randu. Bitch, hit me up, ketchup boy.
Ketchup boy!
Well, doesn't everybody have a ketchup boy?
He's fucking flinging that ketchup around. He's got that chef's hat on. And you know what? I actually kind of felt sad when I watched. I remember watching that live when it aired for the first time. Are you about to pull it up because
Yeah.
you've never seen this?
No, I've seen it. I just want to watch it.
That's fair. It'll make me sad again.
Dude, what?
But so you and I have had the conversation in the past that if you could imagine Chris Farley living out the rest of his natural life, how funny that fucking guy would have been, how many things Chris Farley would have been involved in. You know, I would imagine it's the same way for the generation before us and Jim Belushi.
Yes.
You know, imagine all the things that Belushi would have been involved in. In my opinion, Chris Farley is the funniest man to ever fucking grace a comedy stage. That guy was the fucking guy. Excuse me? And when I was watching that, at first I was really happy and I was really excited because I remember fucking watching that. And then being an adult now and being a parent and fucking being self-aware and all this, especially with all my mental health issues that I've had in the past, I really started to fucking overanalyze Chris Farley in that segment. And I don't know if it's just me in my fucking consciousness like manifesting it or if I can legitimately see it, but I can see as that guy is doing that how how much pain that guy is in. So it was a really bittersweet moment for me watching this again.
Imagine, okay, so Keenan, he's like a teenager, you know, and think of all the things he's gone on to do,
right?
And all the greatness and Saturday Night Live and all that kind of stuff that he's done, and he got to have this moment with him,
right?
With just him and the Ketchup Boy. But I mean,
yeah, we can't forget Ketchup Boy.
That is something that he has got to look back on and go, wow.
Well, look at. Especially look at Matthew Perry and in Almost Heroes.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
you know, he got to do that with Chris Farley. That was one of the last movies. That was the last movie that Farley ever did. So, I mean, and Matthew Perry's an underappreciated guy anyway. I think.
I agree. You know, I just saw an SNL skit. It was called Sarcasm 101, where they're in college and it's a whole class on sarcasm, and it had Norm Macdonald in there. And he plays like the class idiot. If you guys ever get a chance, look that skit up. It's
I'll definitely look it up.
It's right during the big, Friends and all that stuff going on. But it is hilarious. Norm Macdonald is the perfect idiot. He cannot get sarcasm right whatsoever.
Right.
And he's like he just at some point there's this girl where he's like, all these guys are dogging on this girl. He's like, can she take a bath with me? Like, what? No! Like, that wasn't even...
No,
what?
She
goes,
cannot.
Can she take a bath with me? He brings it up like 4 more times. Anyway,
I'll definitely look
were you
that
wanting
up.
to play this?
Let's watch it.
Yeah, let's fucking watch this thing.
The cast of all that. Cooking with Randy. He's a master chef all the way from Chicago. Please welcome Chef Farley.
So can you guys talk about what it was like to work with Chris Farley?
Oh.
Play the fucking skit, you fuck.
That was the minute-long one where they're looking back on it.
I figured it'd be since it was shorter. All right, here we go. Here's the real deal.
Channel 106B presents live from his own kitchen, Cooking with
Randy.
Hi, I'm Randy, and this is Cooking with Randy. Hi, Randy.
You know what's really sad? Like, this humor used to fucking, like, make me want to piss my pants.
Yeah.
But it's still funny. It's still fucking great.
Please welcome Chef Farley. Chef Farley. All right, now I understand you prepared some of your special dishes for us. That's right, Randy. Now, a little birdie told me that you have a special kind of hankering for chocolate. Well, yes. You might say that I enjoy chocolate. Well, then feast your eyes on this little baby right here. How do you like this one, Randy? Be still my chocolate heart. This here is a 7-layer chocolate cake with a chocolate mousse center covered in chocolate icing. It is lovely, Chef Farley. You know, the only thing I might add would be just a little bit I know. Ketchup. You read my mind. Ketchup boy. Ketchup, come on in here. Yes, sir, Ketchup boy. How you doing, Ketchup boy? Just fine. You got your own ketchup
Just
boy?
fine.
That's stand back, Randy, because this can get a little ugly. You gotta do it just right. What are you doing? I wasn't talking about ketchup. We're talking about ketchup? Well, don't knock it till you try it, Randy. This stuff is good.
You nasty.
I think I ought to explain how we do things here in Randy's world. You know what I'm saying? Take it away, Randy.
And you know all this shit was improv.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
It is safe to say that everybody loves fried chicken. Well, you bet your fanny I do, Randy. Now here we see 14 legs of beautifully fried, crispy, crunchy chicken. Right here. Now, the to finish off the heaping beautiful plate of chicken is that a heaping helping us? Ketchup, I know. Get the boy, come on out here. Get the boy out here, Randy. Many times.
It's not even hitting.
He missed it entirely. How do you do that? That's got to be more challenging to do.
No. Everybody loves ketchup. Everybody loves a little chocolate.
My floor is like, fuck it.
There we go. That's pretty good. Hey, take this ketchup, boy. You know, chocolate ain't half bad. Not half bad. Get out of here. You're fired. You're never gonna serve ketchup again. You see? You can't beat chocolate. You can't beat chocolate. Randy, I'm worried about you. Look, Randy, you've been eating chocolate all your life. And all you got to show for it is a new crop of zits. I'm worried about you. Pretty soon you're gonna wake up Sunday morning after stealing Grandma's Sprangle mints out of her candy dish.
Yeah, hit me, Tube Sock.
In rehab.
Hit me, Tube Sock.
Alcoholic.
Don't you have another one for me to try?
Maybe, Randall. Because you better come over to this.
That's a white label. Yes, that one.
I will never forsake chocolate. Ketchup! Chocolate! Ketchup! Chocolate! Ketchup! Chocolate! Ketchup! What's happening here? You have aroused the chocolate gods. This is scaring me a little bit here. Hey, what's happening?
Starts raining chocolate chips.
Right.
All right, Randy, don't worry about you. All we need is a little bit of ketchup on it. So, until next time, see ya.
Don't cut it off yet. Because plop.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, it's also so sad.
It's so classic, though.
I miss that guy.
Me too.
That guy fucking made my childhood a bright and happy place.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, Almost Heroes was fucking love
Well,
that
you know,
movie. Beverly Hills Ninja. I love that movie.
Yeah, Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Fucking come on, Black Sheep.
Black Sheep was okay. Tommy Boy.
You take that back, you son of a bitch.
I only say that because I haven't seen it as much as the others.
The bus driver.
The bus driver and Billy
Fucking
Madison.
Yes.
Billy Madison.
Fucking Wayne's World 2.
Thank you.
Yes. Coneheads.
Thank you.
Coneheads,
but,
yes.
I love the role as the bus driver when he ends up at the inn with the penguin.
Who would steal 37 boxed lunches? He's just fucking
Him,
giggling.
Norm Macdonald. I can't
Yes.
remember the other guy, but
He used to be on the Man Show.
yeah. But dude, no, seriously, like he could just he put a lot of himself in everything he did, and one of the things I heard
There's
is,
a lot of physicality to
Yes.
his fucking performance.
I've heard that he wanted to kind of try something dramatic, and they told him he'd have to stop drinking, which may be why he kind of picked up some more drug use and could have led kind of to his early death.
Right. Yeah, in my opinion, Chris Farley was and is and always will be the greatest comedian to ever live. The way that it kind of makes sense in my head, I also include Robin Williams in that, especially because their careers were so similar.
yes.
You know, they were very successful comedians, and then they got into film, and that propelled their comedy success that much more, and yada yada, and they eventually give up stand-up to focus on film 100%. And, you know, I urge anybody that loves stand-up and any good stand-up to watch Chris Farley stand-up, to watch
I didn't even know Chris Farley had stand-up.
Yeah, he had stand-up.
Okay.
You have to look for it, but it's fucking good.
Okay.
Robin Williams stand-up is
I have
fantastic.
seen that.
Both of those guys are big on really good improv too. I mean,
Oh,
And then
yeah, I can see
going
that.
a step further than that, Eddie Murphy.
yes.
Oh,
Eddie
yeah, Raw?
Murphy's stand-up is fucking fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Looking at Eddie Murphy and his cinematic career, you know, shit like fucking Dr. Dolittle and
The first two.
right. What was the fucking the movie where he was fat?
Oh,
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor, thank you. You look at that and it's like, this guy's not going to say anything lewd. You know, he might make some fart jokes.
Yeah, he has like one of the most fucking lewd.
And then you watch
And
his stand-up,
it's
and it's like,
crazy.
fucking what?
Him and Martin Lawrence are
Yes,
very dirty.
Martin Lawrence, also a great comedian.
Richard Pryor. Was
Richard
always one of
Pryor,
my
you know,
favorites.
Richard Pryor is the standard.
Yes.
Like I've always looked at like two of my favorite stand-ups were Richard Pryor and George Carlin.
What was the the Willy Wonka guy? What was his fucking name? Was it Gene?
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder, thank you.
Oh, I
His
thought you were
stand-up-
saying a guy. He had a stand-up too.
Oh,
Holy
fuck
shit!
yeah, his
I know. I
stand-up
thought you were
was
saying
great.
someone that looked like the Willy Wonka.
No.
So, and as soon as you
Gene
started,
Wilder had some stand-up too. You also have to look for that one.
Oh, that would
but
be
when you
great.
find it, it's
But then the
fucking
movies
good.
Oh, I
that
would
him
love to see
and
that.
Pryor did together.
Oh,
See
hell
No Evil.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? What it's called? Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
Yes, but the reason I brought Eddie Murphy up is because, you know, his brother Charlie Murphy died a couple
Mm-hmm.
years ago. His stand-up is also fucking fantastic.
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of people, especially people our age, only know Charlie Murphy from The Chappelle Show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was a pretty successful guy, and he's a really fucking funny comedian. So, if you want some good stand-up, look for Charlie Murphy stuff, too. And then, obviously, people like Chappelle. You gotta throw Chappelle out there. Chris Titus's,
yes.
I'm sorry, can't fucking talk. Titus's stand-up in the late 90s is fucking fantastic.
I liked his most recent one too. I can't
I
remember
haven't
where
watched his most recent one, but I remember watching his stuff in the late 90s. I used to watch the fucking Titus show. Mm-hmm. You know, he was a funny fucking guy. I just had his name and I can't remember it. The guy from fucking Rescue Me.
Oh, Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary, thank you.
Oh, his is
fucking
good too.
great stand-up comedian.
And the cool thing about like him and Chris Titus, they're just regular fucking guys saying
They're just regular fucking guys.
and they're just saying the things that are on every guy's fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so great because you connect with that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's so goddamn real.
I'm glad to see that Titus is still being successful.
Yeah.
You know, Dennis Leary has been successful enough that he doesn't really have to try at this point. He's made enough money.
Sure.
Titus has not made as much money as Dennis Leary. I can't possibly fathom that they are on equal footing as far as monetary gain. But Titus has always been a fucking funny dude. Always. I used to watch that fucking show religiously.
Yeah. Same.
I loved the Titus show.
A long time.
Word. So we were going to talk about Pokemon Go.
Yeah, so I didn't want to dive down the Game Addicts rabbit hole too deep because I didn't want to force you into doing a Game Addicts podcast when you're not doing Game Addicts podcasts. But how do you feel about Pokemon adding the fucking evolution shit? The Mega Evolution shit.
To the OG game.
Yeah,
The OG story.
thank you.
I'm open.
To
I mean,
Pikachu and Eevee. I'm just going to call it that.
Yeah.
Pokemon Pikachu and Eevee because it's easier and it's less words.
I'm open. I'm definitely open. It's obviously going to be a different kind of game anyway. Mm-hmm. It's going to be sort of a Pokemon Go reimagining of Red and Blue, or Green if you're in Japan.
One question I have is how much do you think the multiplayer aspect, and I hate to label it this way, but how much do you think the multiplayer is going to be shoved down your throat?
I don't know. What little I've seen of the game, it's very much a single player experience. I enjoyed everything that I saw from the E3 floor presentation, or what, like, because you had the direct, and then you actually had like the next day where you actually saw some Nintendo live streaming stuff where they showcased the gameplay, and they're walking through Viridian Forest, and you catch Pokemon like you do in Pokemon Go,
Right?
And then you battle like you do in old school games. And that was one thing that I was like disappointed with the mobile version, is that you just tapped. I didn't like that. I wanted to, like, we're gonna stand here and we're gonna rock paper scissors this shit until we win.
And we're gonna fucking hear some battle music.
Yeah. I'm super excited for that game, and in a way, I like the fact that they're taking the risk with this. It has led to a kind of a resurgence of Pokemon Go, with all the updates that they've been doing to it, with the whole trading and everything.
I've been playing.
Have you? That's awesome. I haven't picked it back up, but like,
I have also not picked it back up just because I don't have the time.
Same.
You know, we've talked in length on many a podcast about when Pokemon Go fucking took the nation by storm. What we were doing at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, we were on campus and we were at fucking businesses and we were.
I wish I would have known you then.
We were trying to take over gyms and doing all kinds of stuff. You know,
Team Valor.
I don't fucking
Instinct.
Is that the yellow one?
Yeah.
Team Instinct. Fucking Zapdos. The biggest bird cock. But
I always liked when they did like the House Valor, House Instinct from like Game of Thrones and shit.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would love to have the experience that I had when it first launched again. You know, Clint and his wife and Skylar and I were going out every fucking night of the week. We were hitting campus. You know, we were fucking taking over gyms and holding gyms for hours and all kinds of shit. I just don't have the time.
It's definitely
right now.
picked back up again, and that's awesome to see. And I felt like it was a great social experiment. It was.
Oh, it definitely was, because you would see hundreds of people out on
and
campus.
you all connected over,
Yeah.
like over a game.
Over something that actually doesn't exist.
Yes, exactly.
One of the times that Nick Torres and I went to campus, we were just running around. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and out of nowhere we see a guy walk around a corner, and following behind him is a posse of just like fucking frat boys.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, are you guys all playing? And they're like, no, he is, and we're cheering him on.
Hell yes.
Yeah. Well, so we were right in front of one of the engineering buildings at Purdue, and there was Clint, his wife, myself, Skylar. We came around the corner and went to walk down one of the handicap ramps because there was literally a drove of people going up the stairs, and one fucking guy runs up to us, and it's just four of us going down the ramp and all the people going up to the ramp. He runs up the ramp to us. And at first I thought this guy was fucking cracked out. But he runs up to us and he goes, "There's a fucking Porygon right around the corner." And then just fucking runs off into the night. And all of Clint and I especially looked at each other and we're like, we have to go get this fucking Porygon. But the look on my wife and Clint's wife's face, they didn't play Pokemon as children or as teenagers, and they looked at each other and we have to fucking go catch this. And then we run off into the night to catch the Porygon, and Clint's wife was the only one that ended up catching it. But I had a similar experience. They live in Crawfordsville, so we were walking around Wabash College's campus.
Oh yeah.
I was the only one to catch a Lickitung. And I was like,
Nice.
I caught one of my favorite Pokemon.
Rachel.
I caught a Lickitung, and you didn't.
Rachel caught a Dratini. She was in Chicago and she caught a Dratini and she snapped.
What a fucking noob.
She screenshotted it to me and I'm like, oh, I wanted
I remember
that.
catching a Scyther. and
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
very
Yeah.
I caught a Scyther in my bed.
I hatched.
Hell
I
yeah.
hatched a Scyther.
You are a Scyther, you fuck.
Cool.
Actually, I'm not going to give you that because
I'm extremely
I like
weak to
Scyther.
fire. Wow.
No, but the reason I brought this up is, one, I wanted to ask you how you felt about the evolutions, and then I have two more questions. One, are you going to buy the Pokeball controller? I personally, I'm going to get my Switch probably this holiday season. we're actually going on vacation for the week of Thanksgiving, so I'm not going to Black Friday shop this year. But I'm going to try and get my Switch around that time. Maybe, like a Black Friday online sale, or maybe Cyber Monday. But I personally really want to get the Pokeball controller. Not because I want to use it, because I really want to use the Switch and the Switch Pro controller. I don't necessarily want to use a fucking Pokeball. But as I continue to build my nerd room, I have a fucking controller that's a Pokeball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I see. Would I be willing to buy it? I don't know. I would love to try it, and I'm open to that. But I mean, it just depends on how much more it is.
My second question is, and Blaine and I have pretty much already hashed this out already. Which edition are you buying? Are you going with Pikachu, or are you going with the fucking Elemental Fox?
Can you evolve Eevee?
I believe so.
Okay, so this is what kind of confuses me. Now that Mega Evolutions are involved, are they going to have the other Eevee Evolutions?
No.
Probably not. It's going to be 151.
The other Eevee Evolutions
Then I'm kind of on the fence about it.
have been confirmed they're not going to happen.
Then I'm kind of
Now-
on the fence about Eevee.
I will make this deal with you right now. I will concede and let you get the Pikachu as long as I can evolve Eevee into fucking Jolteon.
See, I'm okay with that because if I can't have Umbreon, I don't.
But
want
if I can't have that, I still maintain my control over Pikachu. If you fucking buy the Pikachu edition, I'll take mine back. So
I have such power over him.
you don't have power over me. I cannot have the same thing that everybody else has.
That's power.
I had
Not
yellow.
power,
That is
it's-
power.
It's weakness.
That is me taking advantage of your fucking condition.
I did have yellow growing up.
Me too. That was my first game.
It wasn't my first game, but it was my favorite.
Part of me
game.
wants to just get that because it's sort of a reimagining. Because they have James and Jesse in it as well from the anime. So part of me wants to get it just for the old time's sake and to have Pikachu on your shoulder. I like Eevee.
But who's to say that you can't just capture a Pikachu and then have a Pikachu on your shoulder? You know what I mean?
You can capture Pikachu, I do believe, because they did show him in Viridian Forest right where he is in the actual red and blue.
Nice.
Which I thought is awesome. That one little small strip where you can find one.
So a fun fact, I don't know if most people know this, but I saw an article about this right around the time that Let's Go was announced. Pikachu was actually supposed to be one of the 3 rarest Pokemon in the game, other than the legendary birds. And with the anime and everything else that was going on with the merchandise and how much Pokemon blew up, they actually fucking basically did a game update and added more Pikachus in fucking Viridian Forest because people were complaining that they couldn't fucking catch Pikachu.
And was that before it came over to the West?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
makes
there's
sense.
the episode of the anime where there's just like 100 Pikachus in one fucking pack.
Right. There was a Pikachu pack.
Yeah.
All but fucking each other.
So, I'll do a quick plug for my show for Game Addicts Podcast.
You're good, dude.
We're
Plug
doing
plug away.
episode 100 in 10 weeks.
Nice.
So big moment. We have some pretty cool stuff planned, and it is finally coming to fruition for complete live streaming every episode.
Cool.
That will be happening probably at 100. We're also having the greatest controller of all time bracket voting. First round voting is now closed as you're hearing this. Live, it's still up on the Game Addicts Podcast page on Facebook and on our Twitter. Go vote wherever you want. But round 1 is still up live. If you're hearing this post, round 2 will be starting soon. So basically, we took some of our favorites and most innovative controllers with a few extra thrown in, and we're just doing a vote. We're going to do a vote.
I voted. Did you vote?
I sure did.
Absolutely.
You're damn right you did, because you're my sub.
No, I voted because that's my right.
I think he saw it before you did.
You don't know that.
I was at B-dubs when I did it all.
Like
No one,
Last
literally,
Thursday.
He liked
literally
it.
no one cares.
he liked and shared it before anybody else did.
Yeah, I didn't like and share it before anybody else did, but I tried.
Yeah.
I did like and share it.
Effort.
I didn't like and share it until like yesterday, so it's okay.
Way to go, Nick Maxon.
So real quick before we segue away from Pokemon, my wife comments in the status. Remember that time I caught that huge flower in our kitchen? I don't remember its name.
Vileplume.
It was Vileplume. And she did. And I remember this vividly. It was at our rental house on the south side of town. So I caught a scyther in our bedroom like a week before that because there was a big field behind our house because they were still building houses, so there was a lot of Pokemon in that field. So fucking 1, 2 in the...
Their habitats hadn't yet been disturbed.
Right. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, we'd fucking hop in her Trailblazer and go drive around the neighborhood and fucking catch Pokemon. Like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, we would wake each other up like, hey, let's go. Not like, hey, let's get busy, you know? Like, hey, let's go catch some fucking Pokemon. You know, some fucking pocket monsters. And I'm not talking about my penis. But, you know, so... I'm pretty sure that I was cooking dinner, or we had just finished dinner and we were cleaning up, and I was in the other room, and she fucking just goes nuts. She's like, "Look, I don't know what this thing is, but I want to catch it." And I was like, "Oh, that's a Vileplume. It's a fucking nasty flower. Catch that thing!" And she fucking caught it. I tried to catch it, couldn't catch it. She caught that motherfucker. So, Clint's wife had the Porygon. I had the fucking Lickitung. Skylar had the Vileplume. No one else had a Vileplume that we knew. So, fucking gold star for her. So, before we segue away from Pokemon, I've got one more quick question for you, Branden. Do you think, and this is just personal opinion, not based on any, excuse me, not any of the information that we have thus far, or you know, Pokemon Go having its resurgence it's having right now, do you personally believe that Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee will kind of reignite the fire that was there in the 90s for us? Do you think it will be that big? Because I stopped playing at Crystal. Okay, so I didn't play... Nice. What'd you just catch, Blaine?
A Swellow? Or no, it's a Tailo. You don't know it. You didn't get the Gen 3.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
You didn't get the Gen 3.
No. I stopped at Crystal. I literally just said that. Thank you. I'm talking like a robot. But so I stopped at Crystal. In my opinion, Yellow and Crystal are the greatest in the franchises because you have Yellow with its nostalgia, you know, Pikachu following you around everywhere, blah, 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 blah. And then you have Crystal, which encompasses everything before it, all of Gold and Silver. And then it had a pretty interesting story on top of that. You know, the new legendary monsters, whatever. However you want to say that it's awesome. I think Crystal is awesome. I stopped playing after that because I stopped at the regular Game Boy Color. I didn't go any farther than that. But I know how important Pokemon, you know, the card game, the video game, fucking the Nintendo 64, how important Pokemon was to me when I was a kid and a teenager. Do you think Let's Go is going to be enough to reignite that everywhere? Because I think it definitely will in Japan. I don't necessarily know that it will here, but I'm interested to see what you think.
Well, they're redoing the Mewtwo movie, the original Pokemon the movie.
Oh, they are?
I can't wait for that.
That's fucking awesome.
I don't think it's going to be here. I think it's gonna be a swell, and from now until then, we're gonna see some. You know, we've seen some resurgence with the mobile game with Pokemon Go. Let's Go is going to encompass that. I think it's going to be a big success, and then a year later, we're going to get the actual next generation of Pokemon game, which is awesome. Take your time, make that.
Do you think that will be a handheld specific title, or do you think that will be 3DS and Nintendo Switch together?
I think it's going to be Switch.
Okay.
Just Switch. I think...
You think they will finally be ready to move on from the 3DS?
I hope they do that. They say they're still going to continue on with 3DS. I think it's time to start pivoting.
Okay.
And have this be the first one that isn't on that system.
Well, because the 3DS is still selling well, correct?
Yes, it is still selling well, but like the Switch is starting to lose a little bit of fire. And that's the only reason is just because there isn't any big killer app at the moment. You know,
besides Octopath Traveler.
Well, Octopath's killing it. They sold 1 million. That's awesome. Congratulations.
That I will tell you this for a fact. The first 2 games that I buy for my Nintendo Switch will be Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, depending on what Blaine and I decide, and Octopath Traveler. That will be the first 2 games that I buy, and then Bomberman will be the third.
Okay, so
I'll get Bomberman.
So you launch with Breath of
Fuck
the
yeah!
Wild.
Let's get a boop here. Boop.
Dude, that Bomberman game is fun as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so you launch with Breath, and then at the end of the year you have your new Mario game, Mario Odyssey. It's a great game. And then you're coming into the next year. You have Kirby. You know.
I'll definitely get Mario and Kirby,
exactly.
no doubt.
And then of course, the port or enhanced edition of Mario Kart 8, which is still like an amazing Mario Kart.
Right.
game.
My wife told me that I don't have a choice. I have to buy that.
I pretty much have the same
then
choice.
Smash Brothers for sure.
Yeah,
you know,
Smash
I've
is
got to
coming
get
out.
Smash Brothers.
Dude, that 103 levels, 800 music tracks. Okay, every character that's ever been in the game, plus Simon Belmont and
Right.
Richter from Castlevania,
And
Absolutely.
Knuckles.
and Knuckles. Okay, yeah.
Duper Mash Bros. Duper Mash dudes.
So he went to say Super Smash Brothers one day, and he went Duper Smash, and went, did you just Sega out on me? Did you just use Duper Mash Bros? Featuring so it's Duper Mash Bros Ultimate and Knuckles.
And Knuckles.
Is Knuckles going to be in Smash Brothers?
No.
He is a trophy assist for Sonic.
Damn. Because I really want Knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
I like Knuckles better than Sonic, so I really want Knuckles.
I like Shadow.
Shadow is
would.
superior to Sonic. We don't need to talk about Shadow. He doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, but Knuckles is better than Sonic, and you just made me sad.
All right, so
I like
are,
Shadow.
are we all in agreement that Sonic is Goku, Knuckles is Piccolo, and Shadow is Vegeta?
Yes.
Oh, for
Okay.
sure.
All right.
Fuck yes. High five.
Thank you.
You don't get one.
I got one.
You don't.
Can't change the past.
Stop it.
No, you.
Aw, you got me. Darn. But no, obviously, you know, Smash Brothers, especially with that, I actually, when they announced that they were including the full roster of characters from the original Smash Brothers game until now, there were some fans that were actually complaining about that. I don't know why that you would complain about that, because you are going to A, play the game from start to completion and then never touch it again, or B, play it with your friends. You know, you're all going to have your character and you're going to have a good time. C, you're going to have the completionist player that goes through and finishes the story mode with, or the arcade mode, I should say, with every character to unlock all the trophies and do the challenge stuff. But we all have the character that we like to play as. Me personally, I'm either Yoshi or Lucario. Lucario is my guy.
Star Fox.
Star Fox is a lot of people's guy. I know a good friend of mine was a Donkey Kong guy. And
I really liked Mewtwo as
He
well.
could not play as anyone other than Donkey Kong. I've dabbled with Link and Star Fox a little bit, you know. But I literally or legitimately played in a tournament with a guy. We were in the final round where I was Lucario and he was Star Fox, and our match went on for almost 2 hours. It was that fucking competitive. It was that evenly matched. We were both fucking good at that game, you know. But I don't know why anyone would complain about that big of a roster. Look at all the options you have.
Yeah.
You know, I could understand maybe like, God, I don't know how to choose. I don't know who to choose now that I have this many people to choose from. But we all have that one fucking character
Certainly.
That's our character. So I don't know why you would. Oh, Yoshi.
Yeah.
Yoshi's my dude. He knows what's up.
Okay, so
He's got that floppy debit working.
yeah, the floppy debit's going with the Wii Fit trainer,
Yeah.
and she does yoga.
Oh yeah.
So just
She's
imagine
limber.
that.
She's fucking flexible.
Yeah. All right. So there's also they're going to have the original 64 and 64 levels, and they're going to have the same visual style.
Nice.
So they're not going to try and update them or anything.
I like that. I really like that. Yoshi versus Metal Mario.
I'm so excited for getting a Switch and all this stuff.
Me too. I really am.
I've been like ever since it came out, like I've been wanting it, but had no way to justify getting it because there's no games unless I wanted to get Skyrim for the 8th time.
Well, no. Let's take a second. Let's rephrase this. There has been a lot of games.
No games that I wanted to play.
Wait a minute. Let Daddy finish talking. There's been a lot of games. There has just not been a game that has struck the chord with you enough that says, okay, I'm gonna buy that now. And I was the same way, especially at launch. Why would I spend $300+ on a Nintendo Switch when I could just buy Breath of the Wild for my Wii U that I already have?
Yeah.
So I did that. I got Breath out of my system, reference the Game Addicts episode where we talk about Breath of the Wild, like the majority of the episode. I loved that game. I had a good experience on my Wii U. I didn't need to buy a Nintendo Switch. When the Switch first launched, I saw Bomberman, and it was instant nostalgia to the Bomberman 64 days for me. I loved that game.
Did you ever cause an avalanche on that solo?
Fuck yeah. All the avalanches. So when I saw Bomberman, it was like, okay, I really want to get one of these now, but I also can't justify spending $300 on one, plus the game, plus the expandable memory, on and on and on. I kept talking myself out of it.
Let me ask you this. Are you going to get Monster Hunter?
Probably. Especially knowing that you are also going to buy a Switch.
Oh, I thought you said knowing that I'll buy Monster Hunter. I was like,
No.
I don't know.
Especially knowing that you are going to buy a Switch around the same time as me. It would make sense for us to get Monster Hunter together, when we're ready.
Yeah.
But at the same time, later in the year, we don't know what's going to be added to Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
And we both, you less than me, have taken a long, and I think long-deserved break from Monster Hunter World because we pumped a lot of game time into that game. I am looking forward to the time that I dive back into it. Where I stand right now, I want to wait a little bit longer and see what else they add to the game. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to do the Kolv Taroth stuff.
It pops in every now and then.
It pops in every now and then.
Right now, we're doing Behemoth from Final Fantasy.
Which is also something that I'm excited to do. But
He's a bastard.
But I am so busy right now. I have to be really selective about the time that I spend just dicking around. So right now it's Shark Week. I'm also playing Pillars of Eternity, the definitive edition. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of time because I've been working so much. But when Monster Hunter comes out on the Switch and we both have one, I don't see any reason that we don't both get it.
Yeah,
because that is a generation of Monster Hunter that I missed out on.
Yeah.
That you got to experience.
And I wasn't a fan of.
You weren't a fan of, but you might be a fan of with you and I working together
Possibly,
and playing it. And we don't know what they're going to tweak, what they're going to change. They might update it either graphically or physically a little bit.
It's definitely upgraded graphically.
So that might be a little bit different.
Because you can play it on your TV.
Right. It might be a little bit different of an experience for you. So I haven't quite decided yet. Like I said earlier, I really want to start with Pokemon and Octopath Traveler. I have done my absolute best to stay spoiler free on Octopath Traveler. I really want to go into that completely blind and just do my own thing. What I'm really hoping happens is they see how much success, obviously they already know how successful Octopath Traveler is. And you might chime in here, Brandon, but how fucking awesome would it be to get a Chrono Trigger on the Switch? The 3DS was the 3DS port was very successful. Octopath Traveler is being very successful. We know that North America has a want and a need for JRPGs, especially really well done ones.
Please go play I Am Setsuna.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. We talked about that on that episode that Blaine and I were on.
I have started playing it. It's Chrono Trigger. It is Like, the story is obviously completely different.
Right.
But when you get into the gameplay and the battle mode, they've added a few things to, like, where you're, instead of buying weapons, you're collecting medals and stuff to upgrade your weapons, which is cool. But you have your attacks. You have your combined attacks. And, like, wow, this is, like, unabashedly Chrono Trigger.
Right.
Which is amazing. And I would hope and to get a remake, just all you have to do is just take the engine you already have for, like, and that would make me happy. Take that engine that you've already had for I Am Setsuna, take all your visual stuff that you've already have kind of like laid out for you in Chrono, and just make it.
Well, who's to say, and I obviously don't work in the industry, so I can't say how feasible it is, but who's to say they don't just port the 3DS version to the Switch?
It's technically possible.
The Switch is obviously more than capable to run anything that's on the 3DS.
Absolutely. Well,
So-
and that was the regular DS version.
Thank you.
Of Chrono Trigger, and the only thing that they really added were the cartoon or anime FMVs, and also the dual screen allowed you to be able to have a touch control component for the menus in the battle system, it actually cleaned up the actual like battle screen where you. My one criticism of Chrono is that the battle screen was a little scrunched with your menu.
Right.
So you kind of had to know what you were doing. Once you figured it out, you were fine. But then they just made that super simple. 3 characters: attack, tech, item, defend, or whatever. So it allowed you to go, okay, so I know that if I do Frog and Marl, I can do a group heal. So you go into tech for either Marl or Frog, select that. And then or you do cross slash with Chrono and Frog. Frog's my dude.
Right.
I love Frog.
You gotta love Frog. Such a great story. But that's, I obviously played Chrono Trigger on the PlayStation. I have that nostalgia. It's one of the greatest RPGs of all time. It's got a cult following, and a lot of times when I see, top 10 greatest video games of all time, it's so biased that Chrono Trigger actually doesn't make it in there. And it's a little bit disappointing for me, because there are great games out there. The Mass Effect series, the Witcher series, on and on and on. Chrono Trigger deserves to be in the top 3.
Yes.
Literally every time. Personally, I would be more comfortable not including Final Fantasy VII. Let me rephrase that. I would be more comfortable not including any Final Fantasy in the top 5 as long as Chrono Trigger is included in the top 5.
I can respect that.
Obviously I think 7 and 9, maybe 10, depending on what way you look at it. I think those 3 definitely deserve to be in the top 10 of all time. But Chrono Trigger is that with that much better of a story.
Well, and what's awesome about Chrono is that it does so much with very little. It's such a short game in comparison. It's about a 20-hour experience,
right?
And even less if you're blazing through. It has 13 different endings. Your main character never says a one word. He's got that link effect, and so all the stories around that they cram so much exposition into that. If you're gonna look at, like, I've been replaying FF7 on the Game Addicts YouTube channel and on our Twitch. I've actually been pretty critical of the localization of the game, and well, I mean, the translation we already kind of know that that's bad,
right?
But the localization, one thing, like, I think the story of FF7 is great, but the actual localization of the game to the United States or to the West, wow, it is so tough to really, like, if you go up to a random NPC and they say something, you're like, what did you say?
Right.
And, like, in what context is this?
And that's part of the reason that, we've talked about why I think 9 is a better overall experience than 7.
Yes.
7 is such an important part in a lot of our age groups' lives, because that was the first major JRPG that they played. That was the first Final Fantasy game that they played, especially before 10. 10's when we went to the next level.
That was like it's very typically 6, 7, because those were on 2 different systems and 2 different generations, and then 10. Those are the ones that people gravitate to as being their first or their best or whatever. when it comes to like FF9, FF9 was the third one released for that system for the PS1. And by that time, like even FF8 has some issues with some translation and some localization. 9, they nail it.
They nailed it. They nailed it.
I love.
The story was fantastic.
Yes. There's a level, or place that you go to where it's called Conde de Petit, where everybody in there has almost like a really hardcore. They're like all like these little dwarfs, and they all have like this Scottish or Irish accents, and they put that in the little speech bubble.
Yep.
And they have it spelled and hyphenated and like apostrophed in the exact way that you need.
So you're reading it in that accent.
Exactly.
Subconsciously, you're not meaning to.
And they're all like
doing it without thinking. Oh, that's
awesome.
They're all like rally-o, rally-o, and they're all like hey, you cannot do that. And it's like you cannot. They spell it like cannot, like CANN like AE, and it's amazing that they went to that level of detail. To capture that, because obviously that was such a large game that to add voice acting on that level on that system was it's not going to happen.
Right, especially because it was a 4-disc game.
Very long.
It took 4 fucking CDs to encompass that game.
Yeah, and it's just not going to happen. So they went above and beyond. When you interact with characters, you can understand them. NPCs, that world is so full. It is very full and it feels alive.
Right.
In comparison, FF7 is very difficult with that, and that is a detriment on it for sure. It does take it, and I can understand why people playing it for the first time would nitpick that and definitely poke that out and say, well, this game isn't as great because of that. And yes, exactly.
Well, and that's one of the, and I've said it before, but that's one of the problems that I have with 7, because I went 9, 10, so I played 2 great stories back to back. One of them fully voice acted. Yeah. Or for the most part, voice acted. The cinematics were good for
so fucking deep.
For the age. What?
10 is so fucking deep.
Right.
Like
it's so many different stories happening at the same time.
I explained that story.
It carries the theme of 9 a little bit forward.
I explained the all of 10 to a coworker one night. She's like, I was talking about games one night with her, and she goes, "Well, tell me the story of one of them." And just how offhand, I started talking about 10, and we spent 4 hours that night talking about Final Fantasy 10 and these characters, and she was hanging on every word, and it was like, it got to the end, and I explained the ending, and she teared up.
That's good.
She teared up. She's like, "You mean they don't end up together?" I said, "He doesn't exist anymore."
Yeah, he was just a ghost the whole time.
And she's like, I'm like, no, everything. It was like the whole, like, Yevon was a veil to pull over the people's eyes, and it blew her mind. And she goes, "That's a video game?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah, I think in the overall, or just the franchise, I think 10 is very underappreciated. Because it gets overshadowed by 7.
Yes. 10 definitely deserves some more, and I'm so happy that it has a more recent version on PS4.
Oh, I love that remaster. I played the remaster. It's fantastic.
I'm very happy that that's available. I personally really, and over the years we've had remakes on the DS, 3DS, or whatever it is, of FF4. I have every version of FF4 ever made. 6 doesn't get that same amount of love. 6 is another one that goes deep, and it's one of the few stories that is a true, what's the word I'm looking for? It's has a full cast of characters, ensemble cast.
Thank you.
Instead of having a certain main character, which you definitely could argue that for that being Terra. You also have like all these other stories going on, and a lot of these characters could actually individually be a main character at any point in the game.
Right.
And that's something that they never would have been able to really capture or do since then.
I think they tried a little bit with 13. Lightning was the forefront, but every character had a major role to play in the story.
Yeah.
As garbage as those games were, in my opinion, it wasn't the same as 6.
No, 6 is something that, by the time you get to the ending of that, wow. I mean, just the World of Ruin. Basically, Blaine, I know you don't know anything about it. Hey, welcome to the show.
Blaine, you had a stroke about 4 hours ago. We've been talking about Final Fantasy this whole time.
In FF6,
I would believe that.
I grew a mullet.
In FF6, the main characters lose, and the world gets destroyed.
Yep, they fucking lose.
And
Interesting.
Which is hard to swallow the first time around.
And so you live now in the world of ruin. Basically, the planet's going to just die, and you gather up everybody. You have to go find everybody, and you go, you know what? We may have lost.
We ain't gonna let this stand.
So,
we ain't gonna stand for this.
So they go back and fight him again.
We gonna fuck you up.
It's like, you know what? You may have, we might not be able to reverse this at all, but we are not gonna lay down. Mm-hmm. And you have to go back and fight him one more time.
Yeah, 6 is definitely. I totally agree with you. 6 is definitely underappreciated.
I wish it would have got a DS remake. Mm-hmm. They were on that roll. They did 3 and 4, and I heard they were going to do 5 and 6, and they had farmed those out to another company. And then out of the blue, Square's like, yeah, no, you're done. And I'm like, 4 was amazing. You took that a 16-bit game and you added voices, you added more characterization, you added more thought. Like whenever you would have you could kind of switch players or characters to where whoever was on the field, right? Mm-hmm. And if you opened up your menu, you got a thought bubble of that character, adding more exposition to what they were thinking.
Right.
They added more to the game than what was on the original Super Nintendo, and that's awesome.
You have to give Square credit, and I have my quips with Square, especially the last decade.
Yeah, same
for
here.
sure.
They've been doing some right with the. For some reason, they do something like Bravely Default, and they do something like Octopath, and it's a massive success, and they go, what?
Let's make a game that you have to watch a movie before you play
No, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
And if you don't watch the movie, you have no fucking idea what's going on.
We're not going down that rabbit hole, Tyler. We're not doing that. That has been a running joke on Game Addicts podcast for like 50 freaking episodes. Decade.
So, but that's the thing with Square. Square, when they get it right, they are so good at putting together a story and a cast. And you might have a weak character. Final Fantasy X specifically, there's a lot of love for Wakka as a character. There's also a lot of hate for Wakka as a character.
Now, what I will say to that, his character can get grating, but he also has some of the most growth.
Absolutely.
Because he is one of the more indoctrinated people within that religion.
Right.
And then he has to see the fault in that. And he has to personally decide to stand up.
And, going a step further than that, you have a character like Kamari that is such a one-dimensional character.
Oddly enough, voiced by the same guy.
Right. I am there to protect Yuna, and that's all that matters. And then when you get to Gagazet, it's like, wait a minute. This guy is actually multi-dimensional. He's not just a bodyguard for this summoner. He's actually important. He
seems
relevant.
So badass, and then he's the one that they all make fun of.
Yeah, he's the runt. He's small compared to everybody else. He's Blaine.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I had to insult you when I could. But just Square is so good at telling a story when they want to do it. You look at Kingdom Hearts 1, 2. I didn't play any of the additional games after that or before that or however you want to label it. I'm really excited for 3 when we finally get there, if it actually ever does come out. And I'm going to keep saying that because I don't know that it's ever actually going to come out. They are so good at telling a story when they put forth the effort.
And it's all encompassing because when you talked about cast, writing, and all this stuff.
Voice acting. On top of that, the voice actors have to perform at Square's expectations. Otherwise, we got to do it again. We're going to keep doing it again.
And think about before you had the voice, something to help move the mood was the music and soundtrack.
Absolutely.
In the first 10 games, less or so in 10, he kind of took a backseat a little bit. He did a lot of stuff, but Nobuo Uematsu is a freaking genius. To do 10 freaking games and like not completely and utterly repeat yourself. Or
Absolutely,
rip yourself
no
off.
doubt, 100%.
And in some cases like FF7 or 6 and 9 and 8 too, I guess to an extent, he wrote a theme and wrote other music involving that one theme. So you hear that theme multiple times throughout the game, but it's done differently, or it's in a different key, or it's over here, it's doing this. But it's recognizable. It's like Star Wars in a way.
Right.
How like there's the main Star Wars theme, and you hear that same theme kind of like 6 different ways in 6 different modes. But like he was able to convey just so many different emotions, and he had to drive the scene forward because you couldn't always do facial emotions, or you couldn't always do like the actors. You had the speech bubble, and then where the music went.
Right.
And that took you.
Well, and sometimes it was absence of music.
Yes, absolutely. Kingdom Hearts,
For
does that
sure.
a lot. Anyway, are we going to be doing some sort of an announcement?
Well, before we do that announcement, I want to thank Branden for humoring me on my Japanese fandom
Absolutely.
and being my friend.
Hey, I've missed you. It's been a long time.
I appreciate that.
I can't
also
wait.
miss.
I can't wait to have you back on Game Addicts at some point.
I also miss working with you once every other month.
That's kind of the way it went, but man, that fucking quarter went by so fast.
Right, because we literally like. All right, back to talking.
Literally, like people actually at one point we were on 14, and they're like, they haven't stopped. Like, no, sir.
We gotta make use of the time we have.
Certainly.
My, Mr. Beauregard.
Those could have been podcasts.
Absolutely, no doubt. But Blaine and I have an announcement for all of you listeners.
Yes, we
I
do.
want to thank our guest, Branden, for being the good friend that he is and being the great guest that he is and will continue to be when we have him on again. And now we have something to say.
So, we've been doing this for 50 episodes now.
50 fucking episodes.
50 episodes on the Journey into Comics
I'm
Network.
sorry.
Yeah, we're all sorry. We're sorry we put you through. I'm
For
sorry.
the love of God!
I'm sorry I put you through the first 12 episodes of just me fumbling around with whoever I could get on the show. I'm sorry I brought Tyler on the show and now he's a co-host.
Yeah, I do stuff.
Just stuck
every
around.
week.
I'm sorry that you have to deal with Richard every so often.
I'm an ass. And Cameron.
And Cameron.
His mouth has Down syndrome.
He has Down syndrome.
No, just his mouth.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is autistic. His mouth has. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You're with me. You're
with
picking
that
up what I'm
being
putting
said,
down.
we no longer want to litter the Journey into Comics network feed with our
fucking-
trash
our miasma of fucking garbage.
and filth.
Not that we want to leave the network. We are still going to be a part of the network.
But that being said,
But
we
Baby
are,
Bird is flying the coop.
yes, we are getting our own feed where you can subscribe directly to us and get only Podcastrophe content.
Just us. Mostly me, but just us. I mean, am I wrong? I mean,
No.
come on.
Yes
Let's
and
talk
no,
about
because
it.
we're going to be doing a bunch of extra things.
You're
like-
going to be doing a bunch of extra things. Don't speak for my personal life.
Okay, I'm going to be doing a bunch of extra things.
Yeah.
When we go to concerts, or I go to concerts, or you go to concerts, we're going to review them.
We go to concerts together, so we're going to review them together.
I'm going to be doing gear reviews.
You're going to do gear reviews.
I might, if I'm ever just, hanging out with a dude,
Jacking off.
jacking off, I'm gonna be like, hey, why don't we podcast this?
While we jack off.
This is such a great
I
way
am
to
so
announce.
amped up right
I
now.
know.
Oh, fuck.
But no, like anytime I
Rachel, get out of our comment feed.
yeah, no one likes you.
We don't like you. Especially not us.
But yeah, so we're getting our own feed. You can subscribe directly to us and get only us. That being said, don't leave the Journey into Comics Network. Or
Yeah, they do a lot of cool stuff.
They do so much stuff, and
And
despite
don't forget about the the Game Addicts
Oh,
podcast
yeah, of
either. 'Cause
course.
They do a lot of cool stuff too. I like those guys.
You know,
We're
us
sitting with one of
leaving
them right now, and he's a cool guy.
Yeah, us leaving
Pretty cool guy.
the network
He's a pretty cool
feed.
guy.
There's gonna be a slot opening up on Thursday. We don't know what's gonna be there,
We
but
don't know.
you know,
It might be nothing.
doubtful. Knowing Nate, doubtful.
Stop.
Nate's gonna be like, gotta fill it. There needs to be a show here.
Do Christian Bale Batman voice.
God.
Do it. You do it, you
man.
pussy. Do it.
I'm trying to think of how it goes.
Either fucking nut up or shut up.
I'm trying to think of how to say it.
Do it.
There's gotta be more shows. There has to be a show.
The shows.
There has to be a show on Thursday. I about said on Batman.
Boop and then Christian Bale Batman voice. Ready? Boop.
You
we
merely
fucking-
adopted the boop. I was born in it, molded by it.
Yeah, Rachel, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm so excited to move to our own feed, you know. And the
Wait a minute. Let's rephrase that. You are not excited to move to your own feed because that insinuates that we want to eventually detach ourselves from the Journey into Comics Network.
Not at all.
Like a small fucking bead of a living organism of coral to where we will eventually go and start our own coral. Thank you.
Oh fuck!
Oh no, beer on the floor. Oh man. Oh god damn it, you knocked over Kronk.
Damn it, Kronk!
There is so much happening right now.
Don't leave me, Kronk!
There's so much happening right now, and I'm confused.
You knocked over a light pail.
I'm not even
It
gonna
landed right on your face.
I'm not even gonna clean up that beer.
Why is that there?
You put it there.
You put it there!
Ah, you're right.
All right, keep talking.
So I'm so excited to be moving on to our own feed because it really gives us an opportunity to really expand ourselves, really
And not
expand our
fuck off
brand,
so much.
really expand like the amount of content we can put out in a single week
And our dicks.
for our listeners and viewers. The plan right now, though, so we're announcing this on episode 50. The plan to officially start our own feed is on episode 55. In that time,
Tentatively. I'm going to say it a third time. Tentatively.
tentatively.
Thank you
So
for a fourth time.
once we move on to our own feed, for a couple more weeks, we're going to still be on the Journey into Comics Network.
We're still going to be here.
We want to make sure everybody that wants to gets migrated over and can fully enjoy us. Don't you fucking drop that.
You're gonna knock that over again.
You back the fuck down.
So, God damn it, Tyler. I don't even know what you're doing right now. There's not enough. He is trying so hard with this. The cable's not long enough, Tyler.
You don't let me spread my wings. God, it's so wet right there. I'm standing in it at this point.
I think it activated like the cat piss within the carpet because I am smelling it hardcore
Your
right now.
cat piss. Look at that. It works.
It's leaning.
I don't like this.
I'm blinded because I look.
I know.
at it.
I'm looking directly at it too.
Stop it.
I can't.
Look, it works now. I did it.
Yay. I was like, hopefully you didn't grab the wrong can.
Well, glad I bought that beer. He tries to put his microphone back into position, and it just flops over.
No. It didn't flop over. It booped over.
Yeah.
Good God, I've had a good episode.
Mm-hmm. So what do you have to say about the move?
Are you wanting me to exposition right now?
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts.
Away. Lovely.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I'm not going to do that the whole time because I'm not going to put you guys through that. And when I say you guys, I mean the people listening to this podcast.
Yeah, we're fine with it.
I
Yeah,
care
no.
about him. I don't really care about you. So we have, and when I say we, I mean Blaine and I. We have a lot of ideas on how we want to continually increase, our production value of the show. Not only the consistency and frequency of the content that we put out. We have talked in the past about possibly putting some more shows out during the week. For me personally, as of right now, I don't have any free time to do any other shows. Blaine has some ideas of some other shows, that he might possibly. I can't fucking talk,
Possibly.
man. It's a
Possibly.
fucking podcast. If you say possibly one more time, I am going to butt fuck you to death. But giraffe style. But we have a lot of ideas. We have continually, Blaine obviously since episode 1, myself since episode 12, tried to increase and improve the quality of equipment that we have, and just our overall ability to provide a worthwhile and good production, or well put together production is how I want to say it, I suppose. Occasionally, we have a little bit too much to drink on the episode and knock over lights and spill beer into the carpet, but we are continuing to try and put forth good stuff and bring forth good guests, like my good friend here, Branden Stone, and my pretend friend here, Blaine Tyner, who's also a host of this show, so what I'm saying is kind of irrelevant. But we want to continue to improve, and I've said this before on the show, and I want to reiterate this fact right now. We are doing this because we enjoy doing it. We are not receiving any outside money, unless you guys want to donate to us, which we have a donate button as the Shop Now button on our Podcastrophe Facebook page. But we are doing this entirely out of pocket. We are doing this entirely out of our free time. We both work full-time jobs, and especially Blaine now. After his celebration this past weekend, he is officially a family man, which I am very proud of him.
You heeded Guile's advice from Street Fighter 2.
He did.
He told you, after he kicked your ass, to go home and be a family man.
Yeah, go home and be a family man, you fuck. But as much as I like to rag on my co-host here, he is doing the right thing. He's getting his life together. We're building a beautiful friendship. And we want to continue doing that for you folks. We're just going to do it solo style.
What?
We're going to our own feed.
Oh,
That means we're doing it solo
like
style.
apart. I'm like, are you breaking up with me live
Yeah,
on
I'm
podcast?
going to go do Podcastrophe by myself.
Are you fucking dumping me on
God,
my own
you're
show?
fucking dense. I'm leaving. I'm going to knock a light off before I leave. I fucking hate you. I like you, Brandon, but I hate Blaine.
Oh, man.
So what are your thoughts on the move, Brando?
Dude, I'm excited for you guys. I really am.
I'm very excited.
It's something that is going to be very beneficial for you guys. Of course, you guys have the live outlet, and of course, the availability to to lump this show in with the rest of the network. There's a lot of shows on the network that have like a kind of a specific niche, and this show is kind of like all over the place.
Oh yeah.
It varies per episode. It depends on who's sitting here on this couch. It depends on what is going on in the world.
That's the Podcastrophe casting couch.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think it's going to be nothing but beneficial for you guys, and I'm very excited to see what you guys kind of come up with on top of the every show every single week.
Oh yeah.
I'm very excited, and then of course being a part of your own feed, you gotta have a little bit more freedom and say about what day your show is going to come out. You guys could change your day if that's what you want.
Yeah.
You can say, you know what, guys, I had to move again, and we got to change our record day, our live day, and our release day. So we're fucking up your shit.
Which look forward to in the future, folks, because I have a changing schedule pretty much every other year for the next 5 years. So stick with us.
And you guys can adjust accordingly on the fly. Of course, being a part of the network and it being kind of a packed house, you could do so. We would kind of have to jostle some things around a little bit. You would have a little bit more freedom, and you wouldn't be bothering anybody else in that process. So that and then, of course, anything else you guys want to throw up there. Like, literally, you guys could have something up there every single day of the week.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And for those who have been around, you guys have seen me do random live streams. Like, I'll play Jurassic World Evolution. I'll just sit here and talk to you guys. The other night I played guitar like a jackass while testing out this new software.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. But either way, it's all in the name of fun and, connecting with you guys.
Gays.
There's a potential you guys could do some live hangouts, whatever, and post those up. There's a potential to do some
more drunkastrophes.
Or there's also potential for a completely...
Well, we can confirm that's going to happen soon. And by soon, I mean in the next year.
I remember...
The planning has begun.
I remember Tyler said that he wanted to do kind of a tabletop type game or gaming type thing where maybe he captures his E&D stuff when he gets time to do so.
Thank you.
As an addendum. But that would be something cool and something completely different to throw up there and say, hey guys, I don't know if you guys will like this, but check this out. It's not an official episode, so here's its own thing, You guys have the open and great freedom to do that. And then, of course, it also will expand the ability for people to find the show audio-wise by expanding the places where you can get just this show and all its extra components on many different platforms.
I want to, while I have this opportunity, take a second to thank two people specifically. This is episode 50. This is a momentous occasion for Blaine and I. However trivial it may seem for you folks listening at home and anybody watching the live stream, when Blaine and I met, all those years ago, unknowingly, I consider Blaine a fucking intolerable fucking douchebag, and I did not want to be around him. Thankfully, I did not have to. And then when Blaine and I started working together, when Brandon and I started working together, a very legitimate and real friendship blossomed and continues to grow. I would not want to do this show with anybody other than Blaine. And as much as I fucking shit on Blaine pretty much every episode...
That's your shtick almost.
That's my shtick. I consider Blaine a member of my family. I consider Brandon a member of my family. And I just want to keep doing this. There's not many outlets that I have to get fucking sloppy drunk on the internet and act like an idiot. And Blaine allows me to do that. So I just want to thank everybody that has listened for the last 50 episodes and plans on listening for the rest of the episodes until we decide that we're going to possibly do something different, or we finally had enough. Hopefully that is long and far away from where we're at right now. But I want to thank Nate Phillips and Branden Stone for planting the podcast bug in Blaine and I's fucking feeble pea-brained minds that we have. Because without Nate and Brandon...
I was hoping you planted him in our loins.
You don't have loins, you pathetic fuck.
You're pathetic.
But, no, you... But, without Nate and Brandon, Blaine and I would not be doing this right now. And Nate and Brandon together deserve all the credit for everything that we do every week, because they made us, whether it was intentional or subconsciously, they made us want to fucking act like idiots on the internet every week. So I just want to thank Nate and Branden for giving us the outlet to try and provide all of you with entertainment. So thanks to those guys. Thanks to my co-host for putting up with me, constantly belittling him, and getting sloppy drunk like a white girl at a fucking sorority party. And, I'm not going to go down on either of you guys, so I don't know what else to say.
I appreciate that.
I wish I appreciated something.
Yeah. Thank you, Brando. Thank you, Nate, Pod Daddy Nate. And thank you all the listeners out there. When this show started, I was very excited.
Empathetic.
And pathetic. I really didn't have very much plan or structure.
No, you didn't.
I just wanted to do the show, and
like pretty much every episode we have.
Oh yeah, but despite it definitely being a very different show than when it first started, it's still at its core is the same show. It's conversations.
See, overall though, I don't think it's that different.
It's not
than when you first started, because excuse me, lots of booze. What I think makes our show special is that we constantly have the ability to evolve. Mm-hmm. We constantly have the ability to change, and I apologize to all the fans that are watching this live stream. I am currently cleaning up some mess that I made, like a good Samaritan. But we have the ability to constantly change and adapt based on the guests that we have or the life experiences that we've had since the last episode that we've done. So every episode that we do is going to have a running theme. I make fun of you a little bit. You retort and make fun of me a little bit. We inevitably make fun of our guest a little bit, whether we want to or not. It just happens. And then our guest retorts that back to us. Mm-hmm. Richard, last episode made me fucking want to kill myself because he wouldn't agree that I was a handsome man at one time in my life. But we don't want to confine ourselves to one topic, because you and I are so broad in the scope of things that we are involved in and enjoy and try and learn and teach ourselves about, that it's just doing the people that listen to this podcast a disservice to try and focus in on one thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue to evolve and adapt, and there might be some changes down the pipeline, and we won't know if those are the right changes unless the people that are listening and watching to this podcast let us know.
Yeah. Journey into Comics Network, I'm guessing Nate posted, where did Tyler go? He's no longer with us. His spirit is just speaking to the microphone.
He has gone into the ethereal plane and now just a disembodied voice.
Luckily, my interface is
I'm just
powerful
a disembodied
enough.
cock.
You turn the gain.
I'm a spectral dick.
You turn the gain up enough on this thing, and it can pick up anything.
I now see like a spectral cock going down into the like Trapper from Ghostbusters.
I swear to God, I thought you were gonna say a Trapper Keeper. Like middle school.
Saving this for later.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But on a continuing serious note, and slightly inebriated note, I want to again thank Nate and Branden. Through their friendship, we have gained our friendship, and Branden and I have become great friends. Nate and I have become great friends. I also want to thank everybody else on the Journey into Comics Network. For lack of a better descriptor, for putting up with our bullshit. Blaine is kind of a diva, and is very demanding when he has an idea, but he's never competent enough to describe that idea when we're discussing things. And just overall me being a fucking dickhead all the time, because I am. That's who I am as a person. But I just want to thank, everybody else on all of the other shows, and that includes Game Addicts, for putting up with me and Blaine in some capacity, because you guys are all family. You guys have all made our lives a little bit more satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
And we look forward to continuing to interact and grow and enjoy the rest of the life that we have with you folks.
Yes. And in other news,
I don't know what you're gonna say.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I'm tempted. I don't know what to do with my hands.
So to further promote this move to a new feed, we will be on the All Around Music podcast this Friday.
Oh.
August 17th.
That's awesome.
So please tune in to All Around Music. Go give them a like.
Look forward to me being drunk and an idiot.
It's part of the course.
Drunk and an idiot.
And he might just wear that green Oakley shirt with the sides ripped down.
I swear to fucking God, Blaine. Number one, I never ripped the fucking sides out of that T-shirt. I still have it. It's in pristine condition. Number
Can
two,
you wear it?
No, I can't, because it's about 3 sizes too schmedium. Number three, the shirt that I ripped the sizes out like fucking Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk was a George Mason fucking basketball T-shirt. Go ahead and take all of the beers that I spilled on this podcast and shove them up your ass.
You touched a nerve there, guy.
Oh, yeah.
I say good day.
It was quite the nerve last week. Oh. I really wanted to title the episode Ripped Shirt or whatever.
You're the fucking nerve.
The Ripped Shirt Rebuttal.
Ooh. Yeah, we're going to be on the All Around Music podcast. Give them a like. They do a show every week. They usually live stream it every week.
Like them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is what Blaine meant to say.
Like them. Subscribe to them on YouTube.
Yes, that.
All Around Music.
I personally am really excited for this show. Due to my busy schedule, I have not had a lot of time to watch most of their live streams. I've tried to share their live streams anytime they pop up in my music feed, or music/news feed, because, slightly inebriated. Got to do what I got to do.
Hashtag drunk.
Hashtag fucking drunk. Wasty pants.
Hashtag white girl wasted.
Hashtag Blaine's a cuckhead.
Hashtag AIDS.
AIDS.
Remember,
Fuck you, Iraq.
You remember SAIDs?
Oh, God.
Snake AIDS?
Snake AIDS. But, yeah, definitely give them a like on Facebook. Definitely tune in this Friday evening. I'm not entirely sure what time we're going to start.
I think around 6 or 7.
Around 6 or 7, probably in between the time period of
Eastern
4
Standard
p.m. to midnight. It will be sometime in that time period. I more than likely will be slightly inebriated, and Blaine will more than likely be a slightly quiet douchebag. That's him right there. But I don't particularly know what we're going to talk about. So this is really exciting for me because it's kind of keeping me on my toes.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited too. I have no idea what we're talking about. I'm guessing we're going to talk about each other's shows. More than likely, we're going to talk about some music.
Blaine's probably going to jack me off.
It might happen. There's a first time for everything.
You don't know.
There's a first time for everything on live.
Oops.
And then after that, at some point in the future after that, we're going to have them on our show. So we're very excited to have them and invite them into the chaos. That is our show. That is a podcastrophe.
Perhaps a drunk catastrophe.
Ooh. We have begun planning. And by that, I mean, I've said we need to start planning it. And everybody's like, yes.
And like
That's as far as it went.
And like 6 weeks before he said that, I said, "Hey, we should start planning that."
And so the steps have been taken to start planning it. Now we just need to start planning it. There will be buffalo dip again. We know that much.
Jennifer, make us Oreo balls for Podcastrophe and people at Subaru.
Dude, I used to go like and snipe some or have somebody else go snipe some, and now we're tight. I can get some Oreo balls next time she makes them. Hell yeah!
Yeah.
The truth is revealed. Brando, you really good friends with Jennifer
man.
now.
The
Oh,
more
man.
you know.
Ulterior
We're
motives. Oreo balls.
We're about 30 seconds away from 3 hours.
We're fucking doing it.
Oh yeah.
Do, 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 do.
I don't even care.
Thank you guys so much for having me on, man.
Of course.
Thanks for sitting with us for 3 hours.
well-
I'm sorry.
It's been great, man.
I'm like belligerent.
It has been great. I it's been a while since I've been on, and it just, you know what?
It's been since Christmas time.
It has been. It's been around that time, and I wanted to come back on for some time, and especially with episode 50, I kind of didn't even plan it. So
Yeah, because so the way it worked out, you were like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
hey, what are you doing next week, guy?
What you
And
doing?
I was like, "What's up, man?" And basically, we
Okay,
planned
wait a minute. Were you slightly unzipping your paint suit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're damn right you were.
If we need to paint a picture, yes.
Do you finally have name tags on your paint suits?
Yes, I got all new ones.
Woo!
Oh, and I thought of something. Like, you know how they have the swimsuit edition? A magazine full of just pictorials of people in paint suits posing seductively? Absolutely.
Speaking of that,
So real quick, the other day, and by the other day I mean this morning, yesterday, I shared a post that was feminist complaining about women's expected body image of the Barbie. And the other side of that image was...
no, hold on. Before it goes into like this big
Go ahead.
rant.
Go ahead. Why don't you pull it up and read it?
Oh, okay.
You don't have to do it for the live stream. Just pull it up on your phone. Just go to me. Just pull
all I'm doing.
fucking TY up there.
That's all I'm doing.
That's old dad right there. That's me. You can fit so much
This was
fucking
good.
spaghetti in it.
Okay, here it goes. This, I'm pulling it up for the live stream. Pulling it up.
Alrighty then.
Pulling it up.
Alrighty then.
This is Barbie. Throughout the years, she has been the center of much controversy because feminists claim she represents an unrealistic, unhealthy, and unfair standard of beauty, leading to a crisis for young girls and their self-esteem. And to the right, it says, "This is He-Man."
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what I'm expected to look like. I'm expected to look like fucking He-Man.
This
with
is
fucking
He-Man.
calves the sizes of fucking watermelons. What the fuck?
This is He-Man.
I can't have calves the sizes of watermelons? Or a fucking beautiful bowl cut?
I don't even remember what I was about to say before you
I
cut me
don't
off.
know either.
What were we talking about?
Fucking, I don't know. Ketchup.
Damn it.
And the love and joy of giraffes.
Oh yeah, so
You're pretty wrapped up on those giraffes there, Hoss.
yeah, he is. So yeah, last week was it last week or no? It was last week.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, we got Richard on this week. Why don't you come? And we had another guest lined up for this week.
Specifically,
Two
I said,
guests.
Specifically, I did say next week because I
Zach
figured
and
you already
Alan,
had.
right?
I wasn't gonna say their names.
I'm fucking saying them because they should have been here today, but they shouldn't have been here today because this was awesome.
So yeah, we had planned for AJ to come back on the show and possibly Zach Davidson who's been on Brews with Dudes a lot.
Right, and my friend from
your friend.
from a long time.
We were gonna have them on this week, and then I told Brandon, I was like, all right, 2 weeks from now. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, fuck, this coming week's is episode 50.
Motherfucking episode
We
50.
gotta have Brandon.
We gotta have him.
We gotta have him. So
And
we
I
did.
didn't even know.
We did.
And I got really excited when I saw the fucking Normandy out there.
Oh yeah, you
Did you not know I was going to be here at all?
No,
today?
not
That's awesome.
fucking at all. Blaine doesn't even talk to me anymore.
Oops.
He's too busy jacking off and eating stuffed taco shells. He doesn't fucking talk to me anymore.
I did that last week.
He ate a Subway sandwich before you got here, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I decided to get... Okay, so normally I get just a foot-long turkey on white.
That's pathetic.
Bacon, American cheese, lettuce, mayo.
Just get a fucking 6-inch sandwich that's good.
This is good to me. That's all a matter of preference, and this is what I like, so... Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, so I decided to, on top of all of that stuff, get mozzarella cheese.
Ooh!
Oh, yeah.
What a fucking zinger!
It did absolutely nothing for the sandwich.
Absolutely nothing!
But it did something for me. It got me an extra chocolate chip cookie for free. I got 2 free cookies.
And it cost you $2!
He gave me one of the cookies.
I gave him one of the cookies.
It was awesome.
Because he's
Yeah,
a
it
guest, and he deserved it. He earned it.
He deserved it. He
He earned
deserved
it.
both cookies.
He earned it. He had to. I lost.
Be here with us.
He had to be in this house.
Yeah. And the cat piss.
Yeah.
Which
and
the
the
beer
fucking-
awakened.
And the feces.
The beer awakens.
And the beer awakening. In my fucking belligerent ass.
Oh my god.
I miss you, Tyler.
I thank you. I miss you too.
We all miss you. Gun show.
He-Man!
Dad bod.
Dad bod. Dad bod
God
He-Man.
damn, Colin. Hi.
Hi, Colin. We didn't know you existed.
He's like, God damn it, say hi to me. Hi.
It's like the fucking gardener from Billy Madison.
All right, are we about done? Your
Just
wife
about
needs
done.
you.
I've got a... No, she doesn't need me. Taco Bell needs me.
I'm gonna go to Taco Bell too.
We might go to Taco Bell together.
I might go to Taco Bell elsewhere.
Yeah!
Oh.
Because I was going to have tacos at home. And now it's getting too late to cook. So I might just go pick up some Taco Bell.
So I want to kind of wrap this up with a quick question, which I'm going to also probably ask more questions after that. Because we're over 3 hours now. And I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
And I got to be at work at 6:30 in the morning. And I don't care. Because I'm having a good time.
Yes.
Have you ever made tacos at home and they just not be satisfying at all?
Certainly.
Yes?
Certainly.
From Brian? Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So,
I think it's mostly because I made them.
Well, okay, wait a minute. So at home, so I used to live in Southern California. So I have had the gold standard of Mexican food. I have had better Mexican food in Southern California than I have had in Mexico. Okay? I have had, in my opinion, the gold standard of Mexican food. Not Tex-Mex, legitimate Mexican food. When I make a taco at home, I don't normally do it with corn tortilla shells. I just do flour because it's convenient. And I personally like the taste of flour a little bit better than corn, depending on the situation.
Yes.
I'm a chicken guy. I'm a fucking pollo guy myself. But you know, at home, I'm making fucking beef tacos. It's fucking ground beef tacos. I shop at Sam's Club. I'm buying fucking 6 pounds of ground beef for fucking $17. I'm doing my due diligence to be a fucking responsible fucking capitalist. Okay?
Have you ever smoked taco meat?
I have, and it does not end up the way that I prefer it.
We've done that at the Doom Room.
Now,
and it was fantastic.
I have smoked a chicken. I have smoked pork, and then made tacos with it, and it's fantastic.
I want the smoked chicken
You
tacos.
want some fucking
smoked chicken tacos.
Okay.
That's what I want.
You want some fucking
That's what I want.
pollo asada.
Pollo asada.
Anyway, so I was gonna say tacos al pastor, but that's not what you went with, so I'll just fuck off.
Yeah.
But last night, you know, I had the union meeting last night, so I got out of. It was like about at 9 o'clock when I got home. I was home really late. Skylar and Ruby had already ate. Dinner was done. You know, I'm basically eating leftovers at that point, so I reheat the taco meat and I do my thing. And when I'm at home, my tacos are really simple, just like they are if I order them from a legitimate Hispanic restaurant. It's just tortilla, meat, maybe some cilantro and onion, and I'm obviously a fucking blue-blooded American, so I love me some fucking sour cream. All of it.
Thought you were gonna say cheese, but that works too.
Well, the cheese is just kind of implied, you know. But a traditional taco is just cilantro, onion, and meat. There's no cheese at all. So last night, I sit down, I make some fucking meat, cheese, sour cream. That's literally the fucking totality of my fucking tacos. And they were just bad.
Your tone just went completely flat.
They were just bad, you know.
Just bad.
So, and the reason I bring this up is because Skylar and I, the first couple times, we bought Taco Bell brand taco kits that were the double-decker tacos. So it was fucking hard shell, soft shell, a little bit of fucking cheese sauce to put between the flour tortilla and the hard corn shell. And the first time that we bought those tacos, I literally ate like 7 tacos.
I understand.
In one sitting. It was fucking good. And then every time after that, it got worse and worse. So we stopped buying them and we went back to regular taco kits. You know, personally, Tex-Mex style, I'm a hard shell guy, but, you know, convenience-wise, I'll eat whatever is available. But last night, you know, I made fucking double flour tortilla fucking tacos, and I, like, halfway through the second one, my wife is in the living room, and I looked at her and I said, these fucking suck.
And she says, sorry, I suck.
But that's the thing. It had nothing to do with her. It was just, they weren't fucking doing it for me.
They were tacos with no soul.
They were tacos with no soul. They were fucking husks. They were fucking husks. Fucking taco husks. I'm gonna keep saying that with fucking extra emphasis on both
Is
syllables.
that the episode title?
Husks.
Is that the episode title?
Maybe.
Taco husks?
No. This is the episode title.
It's difficult to spell.
I don't know how you're gonna do that, but you're gonna fucking figure it out. I don't really care either way. But
I'll do my best.
Tacos the same.
Put forth by 30.
It's weird how this almost taco pyramid forms. You know, because you have the best Tex-Mex / Mexican food that you've ever had. And then you have Taco Bell right in the middle. And then the foundation of that pyramid is always Mexican food that you make at home. My wife has made some fantastic enchiladas at home, which I have obviously had much better enchiladas, you know, from tiny Hispanic women, old tiny Hispanic women making me those enchiladas that were fucking, like, taking me from 3/4 to full chub. But fuck it, man, those tacos last night sucked. like I was eating it just out of necessity at that point, and halfway through the second one, I literally looked at her and said, these fucking suck, with a mouthful of taco. And then I finished what I was eating just out of necessity, because obviously I'm going to starve to death in the next 24 hours if I don't eat in about the next 20 minutes. So, you know, oops. And that's all I have to say about that. I apologize to everybody.
If you can make a shirt with the Taco Bell font that just says "Oops,"
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm writing it down right now.
Get a purple shirt with the white "Oops."
Send it to Pod Daddy.
Do your fucking thing, my man. Talk and do stuff.
All right, so this concludes Podcastrophe episode 50. If you want, you can subscribe to the Journey into Comics Network, and you get us every Thursday in audio form on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, and Spotify, plus several other podcasting platforms. If you want to check us out, we are live every Tuesday, roughly around 5:30 or 6, depending. And you can hit us up in the comments there. We'll interact with you live on the show. We also have T-shirts. Get you a Rolo the Destroyer T-shirt or a Heritage T-shirt or any of the other Journey into Comics shows T-shirts right on Teespring. I've posted links all over the Podcastrophe page. Is that it?
I would like to say a couple things. We are a artist-funded, totally creator-owned network. patreon.com/show. We're not receiving any money from any outside source to produce content and create content. This is our show. This is our network. And we do this because we enjoy it and because you folks enjoy listening to it. And if you would like to continue enjoying listening to it and enjoying the fact that we enjoy it, maybe throw a few dollars our way. And I'm not really in the live feed. Now I am. Half my face.
And while you're at it, go ahead and check out the Game Addicts podcast.
Thank you, because I was going to do that, but I literally
Because
ran out of words.
this guy right here is on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Every single Thursday on several platforms, all the ones that he said, and we do a show
Plus Twitch.
All the
Plus Twitch.
Yes, and with that's going to be starting soon. Yeah, and we're doing live streaming on Twitch, playing some games, playing through The Last of Us, FF7. I have not been streaming as of late because it's so freaking ungodly hot in that game room back there. So I'm choosing.
I'm used to it being like extremely frigid.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine. It's like you're literally laying in a bed of magma.
Yeah, dude. No, like over shutdown, I was back there just pouring sweat, and I'm like trying to like interact.
That's dedication.
And play and
That's
talk.
dedication.
And I'm like,
was your shirt off?
No.
Damn it.
So I walked out of that. I walked out of there feeling like I just worked a full 10-hour day. But yeah, guys, please check us out over there. We're doing some great stuff. Episode 100 coming up in October 24th, I think, is when we're going to be recording that. Hopefully, streaming live on Twitch. And so we're hoping at episode 100 from there on will be kind of like how you guys do it. How you guys do live every single week. That's what we're going to be doing too. And we record on Wednesdays. So
let us know whenever you guys are streaming live on Twitch. I'm not always home to check out your guys' Twitch streams, but whenever you're streaming live on Twitch, we can share that on Facebook and bring some more viewers your way.
I really appreciate that.
So let us know. Send one of us a text for sure, or both of us, and let us know, and we'll share that on Facebook.
I really appreciate that, and I know
we appreciate you, pal.
Well, and I can't wait to have you guys back on that show at some point. Tyler, when you get some time, Blaine, when you
play some games
and get motivated.
Just let me know when you have an idea of when you want me back on, and I will make time.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Same.
That's absolutely. That's
I
so
owe you
appreciated.
that. You have done so much for me. I owe you that to help you out and participate whenever I can. So you let me know when I need to make time, and I will make time.
Okay. So like eventually when we do we haven't done a retrospective in a long time, or one of those things, and we talked about doing like a Metal Gear one at some point.
I still really want to do that.
And how cool would that be to do like after we start live streaming at some point? That'd
Oh,
be really
hell
neat.
yeah.
Just have all the games sitting there. I think that'd be really neat. So
Yeah,
let's
for sure.
Make a date. So that's sometime in the fall.
Yeah, let me know for sure.
But, if not sooner.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, we did it all together.
Friends.
At least,
Group boop.
At least two of us.
Boop, boop, boop.
At least two of us. Our friends.
If that is all, that is all.
I'm pretty wasty pants, so
I'm ready for some Taco Bell.
I really have to pee.
I do too. Oh my god.
I was gonna say that.
We're actually all the same person.
I'm the handsome one. He's the personality, and he's the smarts.
I'm the strong one too.
That. Okay, so
Bye.
bye. Make every day a big dick day.
1, 2, 3. Heritage.
Bye, guys.
Day.